What is up, checkmaters? Welcome to the Kill Beat Strategy and the Phoenix Collabo. We are going to be doing chess and risk lessons. Hello, Phoenix.
Hello, good morning. My name is Phoenix, and I am a chess coach, risk noob. I'm the one who slams you, okay? You get noob slammed, it's probably me. Trying to get better, though. If I could get as good at risk as I am at chess, I'd be a happy man. So thanks for having me, Pete.
Absolutely. Thank you for offering. So we're going to start with the chess lesson.
All right, we're
Okay.
looking at the study, yes?
I am coming in. Pete's class. Where do I have to go?
We are on, I'll start you on chapter 4. See this? Chapter
do.
4? Your
I
board
do.
bouncing around? Excellent. So you played so much better this week than you did last week.
Well, great. I'm glad there's some improvement that is visible.
Were you using any of the lessons or thinking back to what we had talked about when you were playing these games?
Yeah.
And if so, what were they?
Okay. The things that I find, the places I get stuck are, I react emotionally when I feel overwhelmed or confused, and that makes my judgment very poor. It makes me make hasty, poor decisions or freeze up. I think I'm avoidant in my nature. So
Okay.
I'm getting a sense that the issues around chess for me are going to be mostly centered around figuring out my emotional problems. And once I get a handle on that, I'll be able to just relax and kind of process the information a bit more dispassionately. Right now, I'm just so overwhelmed that I'm triggered by, what is this for? Oh, wait, I fucked up. And then you're dead. And then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm dead, my ice cream cone has fallen on the floor. Why bother? It's hard to come back.
So I felt that. I
Yeah.
see the board.
Yeah.
I read that emotion through the way that your pieces are moving and also the timer. For those that don't know, in the lower lower right of a board, or for the top player, which is usually your opponent because the board flips, you can see the timers. And so simple subtraction tells you how long a player spent on a move. And so it's very important in chess coaching that we take note of how long the student spent making their move. And you can tell that there are frustrations there. And what happens when you're looking at a board, the reason that you're feeling overwhelmed is because you haven't yet learned to coalesce the pieces into one pattern, like one descriptive thing. There's famous studies in chess. If you give a position to a grandmaster, they can memorize it. Let's show it to them for like 5 seconds, right? They can reproduce that up to like 16 pieces, right? But if you give them an illegal position where it makes no sense, they're just randomly scattered.
Remember it.
They can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Because they're chunking this information into one thing. And so you haven't developed that yet.
Yeah.
But you will, because you will start to learn what looks normal and what looks good and what works. And then you will eventually be able to read particularly the pawn structure. Most of chess strategy is based around the pawns. Do you know why?
Again, most of chess strategy is based around the
Most
pawns?
of chess strategy is about reading the pawns, the formations of the pawns, which we call the structure.
Let me see if I can try and figure
Any
out
idea why that would be? It's a fundamental, it comes from the fundamental rules of chess, why that would be.
Because they don't go back?
Right. And in particular, they are immobile, right? They can only move one square most of the time. Sometimes they can move two. They can have a choice of capturing or moving forward, something like that. But for the most part, they're difficult to move. And so they can't move. So everybody kind of has to work around their schedule and what they're telling us to do. And a lot of times a player would love it if they could move the pawn, but they just can't. So that's why we based strategy around that. And we're going to look at something in this game that has to do with that. And I think it's even the next game, chapter 5, that has something to do with that. So The main reason you're losing a lot of games is the reason why is what happened in this game. So pieces are moving on your screen.
Yep.
Okay, great. So you did a great job taking over the center here, which is what we talked about last week. Move everything one time and take over the center. So he put a piece out, and I love the fact that you noticed this, and you did it though so fast that it made me curious. You actually gained time on the clock
Okay.
with this movement. It makes me wonder. Did you realize he was attacking the pawn, or did you already decide that you were going to move this knight out
No, I
prior
realized.
to you even?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
You did.
responsive. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Earlier in the week, in some of your earlier games, you had a tendency to stick a pawn in the center and move a knight out, regardless of what else had happened on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes it would be the same side knight.
Mm-hmm.
But one important piece configuration to note is that these knights actually oppose each other on equal squares.
Yep.
Have you noticed this?
Yep.
Okay, so these are the counterpart knights, and these are the ones that should come out as a pair. So just like we talked about in the Nimzo Indian last week, he is taking away this knight's control of that pawn. Okay. So a really good move here, a really common move is the move you played e5. And that's great. But there's another move you had an option of playing. Do you know what it is?
And from this position?
Yeah. And I'll give you a hint. So
Yeah.
here's why I'm asking.
Mm.
The bishop takes away the knight because it's pinned to the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this knight cannot move
Okay.
because the king would be in danger. Therefore, the pawn is threatened. And we know that because that's why you move the knight out in the first place. So this pawn is threatened. That's the story of this position.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas? There are two other moves you could play here.
Advance the A pawn to threaten the bishop.
Okay, so last week, when we don't know what we're doing, when we don't know what to do, the last thing we do is we push A pawns or H pawns. So we don't want to cast
not even in
out.
context of threatening a piece.
No, because if that happens, A3,
Mm-hmm.
right? He'll move the bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going to move it?
Back.
So he has a threat of taking this pawn,
Mm.
right? So what he has to do is make a second threat. Now he's attacking your king. Okay. So your king is attacked and your pawn is attacked, and this is the classic double attack.
Okay.
So in chess, a single attack is almost nothing. A double attack is a wondrous game-winning thing. And a triple attack, when three things are attacked at the same time, is actually not much better than a double attack. You would think it'd be like, oh my God, now I'm definitely crushing, right? But it isn't. And
Yeah,
here's the
because it's
reason
an
why.
inefficient use of pieces.
Well, I mean, if you're attacking like 7, 8, 9 things with one piece, that would be
Okay.
amazing.
That's very efficient.
But here's the reason why.
Mm.
In chess, you get one move. And each side gets one move. So what happens is if a player attacks you once, you have one problem to solve with one move. Easy. You just use your move to solve the problem. On a double attack, that's two. So usually the opponent uses their move to solve just one of the problems, and then you take advantage of the second one. So for example, here, white used the move to solve the attack on the king, takes the bishop. Okay, that's using the one move. And then black
Gets their
would
pawn.
win this pawn
Yeah.
with the second move. Here's why 3 attacks are not good, or not much better. Because black also only gets one move. And so if he's making, let's say, one attack on the king, one attack on the pawn, and let's say some other third attack, I don't know, a knight is attacking a rook. Okay. After white spends the one move to solve the problem, black only has one move to cash in. He can either take the pawn or the rook, but not both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why 3 doesn't do any better, is because each side gets one move. So they can't actually cash in on 2 threats, only the one.
Yeah.
So here, this is exactly what would happen is the class on A3 is the classic double attack.
Mm-hmm.
So what you needed to do was
Move the
not
bishop?
spend your move making a threat against the bishop, but spend your move solving the threat of the attack on the pawn.
Yeah.
So here are the other moves. Bishop d3 would be a good move because it guards the pawn with a bishop. Because now, take, it doesn't matter. The pawn is guarded. Okay. The other move would be bishop g5. And now,
Symmetry.
take, hangs the queen. Okay. So either way.
I can't imagine seeing that ahead of time.
Okay, well, this sees your king, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this sees the queen.
Sure. I mean,
So,
once you show it to me, I can see it, but
well, that's
the
all chess, baby.
what?
That's
What do
how
you
that
mean?
works. Once you show it to me, I see it.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and now you know the patterns of pins of these bishops against the knights on the central squares. Very common stuff. So in this game, all right, you played e5. He took, and moved in, and you played f3. And this is a brutal one. So this is a reason why beginners are just told never touch your f pawn. Just don't move your f pawn. Okay,
Okay.
never play f3, never play f6, because this diagonal, this focal point of f2, leads directly to a king on the diagonal.
Mhm.
And even if the king were castled, and he would be sitting on g1, then this diagonal leads directly to the king.
Mhm.
They both pass through f2. And so that pawn is an important garter of the diagonal. And so that's why we don't really want to play f3 here. But there's a second reason why, and you spent 6 seconds on this move, right? There's another problem in the position here. So the very first thing we need to do is say, what has changed in the position? Meaning, what is legal that wasn't legal before? One of those moves is this. But okay, so the knight just moved, right? So the other legal moves for black are any of these knight moves,
Hmm.
right? Do you see one of those as particularly important?
Um, taking C3?
Yeah, take c3. So with this move, yeah, you let your king get under attack. However, you dropped a pawn as well. So even if that queen check weren't there, you're still dropping the pawn.
Yep.
So this is what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about taking that c3 pawn. And now your queen is attacked. Okay, now in this case, this is somewhat difficult for black to untangle. He's spending a lot of moves winning material. I don't want to discuss the nuances of that strategy. Like he'll go back here. But the point is f3 fails to consider the opponent's moves at all.
Mhm.
So probably I would be thinking of a move like this. Guards the pawn, attacks the knight. Where's the knight going to go? Turns out it's running out of squares. It can't go to any of these without being captured. So then it's a simple calculation. Where would the knight go? Probably here. Okay, maybe I attack it again. And now all of a sudden white's pieces are coming out and black's moving the knight around. So right
Yep.
here, queen check, you answer it with g3. This is yet another common tactic. I'm going to guess you haven't seen this, or this is the first time you're seeing this. Very
It's the
common
first
thing.
time I'm seeing any of this.
Fair enough, but
Yeah.
that just means next time will be the second time.
Right.
So first time for everything. So yeah, you often see this g3 sacrifice,
Mhm.
and then the queen takes h1 and you resign.
Yeah, I'm dead.
So I want to discuss the actual cause of this loss.
Okay.
And it's not going to be what you think it is. But I want you to take a guess anyway. Do you know what the cause of the loss was here?
I rushed.
It's definitely rushing, but what did you rush and then what? What happened? You rushed to do what?
I don't know.
Okay. The thing that you rushed, you may be, the audience is like, oh, you rushed to move your pawn. You rushed your calculations. No, what you did was you rushed to resign.
Oh, I'm not playing from this. I'm not touching this. Fuck
You're
this.
not playing.
No, no,
You're,
no, no,
you're
no.
not.
Fuck this
You're
shit.
not
This
playing
is
for this.
ridiculous. I'm dead. Come on. How do you come back
You're
from
dead.
this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pete, this is an even game.
This is how is this an even game?
How is this an even game? Because the queen's trapped in the corner. Bishop A3. Oh, excuse me. Uh, we're gonna play. Let's guard some stuff. King F2. Okay. We can play Bishop A3. All right.
You
You
move the
have what
king.
you forgot is yes, you lost a rook, but you gained a knight, and you have development. And you guys are rated under 1,000.
Hold on, hold on.
You're rated under 1,000.
The
This
king
is
moves here
fine.
to protect the that. See, that's what I didn't see. Right, moving the
Well, I
king
mean,
there.
but there's no reason why. I mean,
Does the counter show how long I
let's
thought about
let's
this
go knight
before I
H3.
resigned, or did I just resign
What's that?
immediately? I'm curious if the timer shows how long I waited before
Oh, I don't
resigning.
think that it does. That's actually a
No.
good point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like, black definitely has an advantage here.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's like, it's negligible.
Mm.
It's minuscule because there's no reason why we're going to play. Basically, the pattern is going to be, I guess I don't want to. I want to trap the queen in first because she can come out right now. So let's trap the queen first. Then we're going to play king f2.
There are two
Okay.
moves. You can either move the knight or the king. Oh. Oh my god. I didn't see either of those.
Well, yeah.
Well, why would
Right.
Okay, hold
But
on, hold on. Why
okay.
wouldn't they take
All
that
right. I
pawn though?
told you last week what I was going to say. I
You
didn't
just
see
didn't
either of
look.
those. And what's
Yeah.
my line?
Yeah. Look, I'm 100% comfortable with taking complete responsibility for the fact that I didn't see it, but I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Right. But did you look?
Well, who knows, man? I sat there and I was like, how the fuck do I get this queen out of the corner? I don't see the way to do it.
Okay.
I'm
So
dead.
all right. So a couple patterns
Yeah.
that we want to take away from this game. First of all, never resign. Your opponents are not good enough to cash this in, and you're you're what you think you're doing is you're
Mm.
stepping off cap. What you're actually doing is botting out.
Oh no, I don't. I'm I'm aware that I'm botting out.
You're
I'm
botting for placement, except in this
No,
case,
no,
it's
I'm not
last.
botting for
So
placement. I'm not botting for placement. I am saying I don't want to get into this position. I've made errors that have gotten me to this position. I would like to start again.
okay. Um, Second thing is you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to experience endings and middle game maneuvers.
Hmm.
You are thinking that if you just start over, you can
What
play chess
the,
again.
this won't
Like the
happen.
chess will restart, right?
Except
But
it
what you're
doesn't.
missing,
The same thing.
there is valuable chess from here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Um, the opportunity to continue this position
Hmm.
is valuable in the sense that you still get practice with developing the pieces, controlling the center, attacking a king. Like when I look at this position and I'm looking at it with beginner eyes here, I would say black is not castled. So I want to open the center. I would say black is undeveloped and it's going to be a while before he can develop. So for example, this knight can come out, right? I think white is actually probably better here because king f2 comes for free. And I'm not hating this position at all. In fact, what I see is that if I can get queen e2 and bishop g2 in, the queen actually is out of squares. The only one left is h2. And then I just got to figure out how I'm going to run her down from there. But she's trapped. So that's how I'm looking at this. I'm saying, okay, the queen can't actually move out, and neither can this knight. This knight can't go here, here, here. Okay. And all it can do is kind of retreat. So I'm saying I don't think that really white's much worse here. And
Hmm.
that's overall. I'm not sure that you're actually hurting here at all. And so you actually can go like bishop a3, get your pieces out, try to wreak some havoc here. That's my plan. I would say the king's not castled, the pieces aren't out. I'm not losing yet. You lost a rook, but you got a knight. So you're not like super down material. You're just a little bit down. And at
Mhm.
this level, that's a totally fine thing to do. Play on. Just play on. Because you'll at least learn something. You may trap the queen. You're thinking it's impossible that you play bishop like bishop e2 or something, and like he fails to see that the queen is hanging. But this game I've seen beginner games, man. Like you could just easily, I don't know. He tries to get the bishop out. You go here, and he goes like this, and then it's like yoink. This happens all the time. So no, you're not out yet. You never know when your opponent's bad.
Mm.
So okay, so point made. Don't resign. Just don't. You're giving your opponents way too much credit, and you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Mm.
So let's look at a similar game. I'm loving what you did in this game. So here's why. You moved a piece into the center, and he moved a piece in the center. You moved a piece in the center, and he's going to develop a bishop toward the center. You got a bishop out attacking a piece that's attacking the center. He moved it, and this is great. You saw that, right? And so you moved a piece out and traded it off. Okay, so I'm hoping you saw. Maybe I should just ask that this knight can take the bishop, but so can the white knight.
I assume, yeah.
Okay, so good. All right. After the trade, though, he has violated a principle that we learned not to violate last week. Do you know what it is? Do you recall?
He moved one piece too many times, and now
He
lost
moved a
it.
piece 3 times, and it's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So we're already progressing, right? And so that's the beautiful move. It warms a chess teacher's heart to see a student doing the correct thing and taking the center here. This move is awesome. It lets a bishop out that assists in castling. Maybe the bishop goes here, here, here. The king can castle, and you're taking a hole in the center that was vacated because there's no knight here. Normally, there should be a knight on f6 controlling that square, and he isn't. So you took it over, and then you're advancing in the center. Okay. First of all, massive improvement. He attacked a piece, and you saved it. Great job. And now this one. Can you explain to me what queen d2 does? Or why you chose it? Or anything. Okay, you look at this position. You spent 3 seconds on queen d2.
Okay,
Ideas?
I was going to say, I'm sure I didn't think long enough on that move. So 3 seconds, I probably didn't think at all.
Okay, well, thinking aside, let's think about it now.
What's it for?
Well, you tell me.
I think it attacks the right-hand side.
Okay. Specifically what?
I don't know. It's a long-term thing. The queen's like a backup piece, right?
It's a long-term thing. Okay. Well, there's a very specific thing that it's doing right now. And so these pieces both attack along a diagonal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is what we call a battery. When we line up pieces that all attack on a single line, it's called a battery.
Yeah.
You formed a queen bishop battery, and that battery is attacking the h6 pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that h6 pawn is attacked twice and defended 1 time, which means it's a target. It's under attack. Okay. The correct move from black should have either been something like g5 or h5, or king h7 is probably the best to guard the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then he plays d5. So the correct move at this stage is take the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Free. So you saw that your opponent was attacking you, but you missed that you were attacking your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
This comes back to basic targeting, which we'll discuss in a second here. Okay, g4. I mean, it's not the correct way to go, but we'll take it. So the reason we don't want to do this is he'll play h5, and this whole thing is locked. These are locked pawns. There's no more advancing of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a mistake by allowing this capture. And so he took back, and that's great. I feel like this is the part of the game right here where we
This is where it goes to shit.
A little bit.
Right on.
A little bit. So now we're going to learn. I'm going to tell you your first thing about pawn structure. We discussed in the intro how pawns are the soul of chess. They dictate what the pieces will do. And in this position, we're reading what we call the French structure. Right? And what that is two pawns in the center pointed toward, if you line them up, they point toward the king side.
Mm.
And if you read the black pawns, the majority in the center points toward the queen side. And the queen side happens to be where the white king is, right? So what we're doing here is as black is we'll attack the white king on the queen side. Stuff like this on these lines. All right. And what we want to do as white is we want to push on these lines. Keep misclicking. Push on these lines. Right? So much, much, much better move than bishop g5. I want to get, or bishop b5. I want to give you credit for moving a piece and developing a new piece.
Mm-hmm.
But much better is let's keep the pieces doing the jobs that they're meant to do, which is to attack the king side here. Now you didn't know that, and I never taught you that, but now you know.
Yeah.
So how do we read this in the future? When you have a d4 e5 pawn formation and they're fixed, this is called a fixed center, a closed center.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because these pawns can't move. This pawn has no legal moves. It cannot move forward. It cannot capture, right?
Yep.
Nor can this pawn or this pawn. None of these four pawns have legal moves at all. Players cannot move them even if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, we have to go around them. And that's why we have to follow the pawn pointing rule. You follow the pawns to where they point. So two ideas here, okay, is use the pieces to start developing along these lines toward the black king. Stuff like this. Or we want to bring up the neighbor pawns. And what we'll do is try to trade them. Because the more open the lines there are on that side of the board, the better your attack will be.
Right.
So we kind of take a diversion in the real game and we go to the opposite side of the board. And we start moving pawns over there. And we lose one. Oops. Because of the battery. 1, 2. Black has a queen bishop battery, and you only have the 1. So turns out he wins a pawn. There it goes. And now we have a problem because what we said was we're attacking the king, but black is supposed to be attacking you. And look at these guys doing their job, but look at these guys not so much.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really getting over there. So, oopsie daisy. Oof. And yet another thing. So your queen is attacked. And this is goes back to what we talked about. How do you actually think about a move? Well, you just look at what changed in the position. And the thing is the bishop is attacking your queen.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to go. So you took a rook because you saw the rook. And you were thinking, what do I want to do? In chess, you have to be thinking, what does your opponent want to do? And he wants to take your queen. And now the game kind of just falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why he did this, taking the rook. I mean, this is much better, I think. But that's because he's a low-rated player, I guess. So anyway, the game is lost at this point.
Yep.
But like you were so close to coming back. But, all right. We have 2 more, but these are faster games.
Okay.
E4, E5. So this is the Petrov defense. I'm going to guess. Tell me, did you know that? Have you heard of the Petrov defense?
Nope.
Okay. So this is a old as dirt line here.
Mm-hmm.
White's attacking a pawn, and you attack a pawn. So in the future, I think what you should do is play knight c6, guarding the pawn. I just think it's easier, and it's more common. Tends to be what beginning players play. This is a perfectly fine move if you know what you're doing. After he takes the pawn, you need to do something different than what you did. You took a pawn. You're still okay to do that, but only if you know precisely what you're doing, what moves to play exactly. What's much, much better is d6 here. And the reason is with this knight attack, you actually have freedom with the bishop to move and with the queen to move, and you're clearing this line down the middle toward the white king. Knight will move back, you'll take a pawn, and now you're even again. If your knight gets attacked, you just block it. And this is why we had to clear the line, so that the queen touches the knight.
Yeah.
And breaks the pin to your own king. So compare that to the game. Oh, I guess I'll play out the rest of that opening here. So next time, attack the knight first.
That is counterintuitive.
Make it go back.
Yep.
Now take it. They'll attack your knight. You defend it. They'll attack your knight. It goes back, and you guys have symmetrical board positions. Everybody's the same. So pieces come out, whatever. We just get our pieces out and castle. Okay. Everybody's castled. Everybody has their pieces out. Good game. Even game. This has been played tons of times by a bunch of people. So your game went queen e2, and you guarded the knight. But here's the issue. It dies, and you take the other knight, but you lost that pawn, and now we have the double attack. Right? We were attacking this. The white's attacking this pawn and this pawn. It's the two attacks. So no wonder you trade a pawn and lose one. After this, you're kind of just toast, right? Okay, but at least you played on. So if you're going to play the Petrov, just remember to attack this pawn or attack this knight first. So we're going to move on.
Okay.
Very good ideas here in this opening. You played the opening extremely well. Everybody got pieces out and you castled. And you hop a knight into the center.
This one was just me being symmetrical, I think.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Really?
Matching.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts recorded on this game? Or
Is this the one from last night?
I think so.
Yeah, that was live. I did that on stream.
Oh, you did?
I didn't read the chat, but yeah, there's all of my thoughts are on this one.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you play very well as long as you're thinking out loud, which means you're thinking.
No, maybe
so
not.
Very,
maybe
very
this
good.
Wasn't the one on stream. No, I lost. Okay. I lost the one on stream. So, did I lose this game? Yes, right?
Yeah, I think so. But what I'm going to ask you is, at what point do you think you lost it?
Good question.
So here we go, knight b5.
Yeah.
And what moves are legal in the position that weren't legal before?
Sorry, show me the move.
Why don't you name some for me? Go ahead and highlight them, draw some arrows and circles.
What has moved?
What moves are now legal that were not legal on the last turn?
Okay, so the knight just moved.
Right.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
I can kill the rook.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
What else?
How
about what can white do that white wasn't allowed to do last turn? Yep. Keep going. Sure.
That knight attacks.
Okay.
Those.
Yeah. Yeah. Good enough for now. You've got all the other knight moves exactly, and then there's one more. There's one more move that is now legal that wasn't legal earlier. This is a tough one, but you can brute force. Thank you. Yeah, C3. So you can brute force this by looking at what piece moved and what can it do, but also look at the vacated square. Called the space left behind. And that's why C3 comes to mind. And C3 is kind of a threat because it attacks a bishop. So do you see any moves there that are kind of related to each other? That now that we have extra legal moves, which ones are going to be important?
C3. Okay.
Well, C3 is important, yeah, but you've got white has a legal move here. Which of those legal moves seems to be the one that's of great import? Knight takes A7 is legal, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. I don't think he's going to take c7, and I don't think he's going to take d6.
Correct.
I think he's
Yeah.
going to attack my bishop.
Right. So your bishop's under attack by the
Yeah.
knight. It could be traded off. All right.
Yes.
Let's think about that. Anything important we could do with a bishop in this
Take the rook.
position? Right. Okay. And then we played. There it is again. Our classic friend.
Yeah.
Our
Bullshit
stuff
that does
got
nothing.
a little bit hard. Let's push an edge pawn.
Bullshit.
Okay. Yeah. I basically I want you to say
Just stop doing
like,
it.
don't
Yeah.
almost just like slap your own hand and be like, I don't think I'm supposed to do that.
Probably a bad idea.
You're supposed to do that when you want that bishop to move, but that's not what happened in the last turn. We want to take the rook, and so I'm glad that you took back with the pawn, guarding this guy from the knight. If you took back with the queen, you're in trubs. So he takes the bishop, unfortunately, and now we don't have that. Are you familiar with piece values? The values of chess pieces?
I mean, only vaguely.
All right, it's easy. They're the odd numbers, okay? Pawns are worth 1. Bishop and knight are both worth 3. The rook is worth 5. There is nothing worth 7, but the next odd number is 9. 1, 3, 5, 9.
Okay.
And then the only other thing you have to remember is these are both worth 3, but the bishop is worth more 3. it's a higher 3.
Slightly better than the
yes,
knight. But very
some
slightly.
pieces are more equal than others.
Got it.
So the bishop is slightly more in the general sense. They could change, but whatever. Yeah,
I'm glad we've come up with math for this, where the math sometimes math.
Well, here's the crazy thing about this. This was known probably in the 1700s or earlier.
Of course.
This came up. And then we invented computers that they don't solve chess, but they're unbeatable. And you know what? Those numbers were right.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So we took it's kind of like Galileo calculates the planets or whatever, or Copernicus, whatever it was, Kepler. I don't know, man.
All of them.
And then we get telescopes, and you know what? There they are. Like, oh, they do what we thought they did. So now you just kind of get swarmed. But this is a great idea, is trading off your queen. You're under attack, so it's a good idea to trade the queen. But unfortunately, what this does is it loses control of this diagonal. This is very high-level chess here. We're going to work on that. But a pattern I want you to note is that oftentimes people will rush pieces forward with no respect for them getting back out. And what we have is in this position in particular is a stuck bishop. And I want this pattern to trigger you in your mind when you see a bishop that is supported by 2 pawns.
Mm-hmm.
They think, oh, I'm super covered. But actually, this guy is that Ralph from the Simpsons meme. I'm in danger. Okay, he can't retreat. And so we have a simple trap here. If I can just go something like, how can I play a bad move for white? Let's go like, I don't know. There we go, our friend. And it turns out, oops. Okay. Their bishop is stuck as white because this pawn is in the way. Normally you just play like bishop a2, but pawn's in the way. So you had a fighting chance in this game. But what ends up happening here is you traded stuff, and even right here, you're still good. So you block, and we push pawns, and the pawns go up the board. They get traded off, which is a good way to start to get a draw. He's dropped a pawn. This is an example, like right here. Okay. What he could have done is something like this and guard the pawn. What he did do is just gave it to you for free. So I don't want to hear you resigning over positions because there's no possible way they're going to give me free stuff. They did, and you took it.
Yeah. They're going to give you.
And this is even the second time in this game. He gave you the rook in the corner. You just didn't take it, but he gave it to you. So there's no reason to ever be resigning. Okay, so check. Rooks come off. Thank God you didn't just move the king and let him take a free rook. Good on you for seeing that. And then you run away.
Now
And
I'm
I'm guessing
fucked, right? How do I beat
I'm
this?
guessing you did this to like shield the king or something
No, I did this because
and
I just
checked.
now I don't know what to do, right? So this is a position
Okay.
like I can't fucking. He has one pawn on me, but
Super
his
difficult, right?
his king is well protected.
Okay, I see his king is in danger, but okay. He can get back ranked pretty
Okay.
simply. And you feel like your king's in danger, right?
I mean, I am in
Okay.
check, so that's
Okay.
dangerous.
All right, so lesson for you. In the
Yeah,
end game, the king is a fighting piece.
yeah,
He is a badass, and that's why the king is my favorite. We spend the game tucking him away, right? But once all his soldiers are dead, he says, "I'll do it myself." He draws his saber and he rushes into battle. And the winner of the game is often the person whose king is the bravest. And so in this position, you are doing excellent, actually.
Hmm.
You are. I think I could against a 1200 or especially against 800, I could win this position.
Hmm.
So you are not lost. And in fact, I think you're only this is a draw as far as like perfect play goes. But you have to play the right move here. And the right move is usually we want to use our king actively as a
Threaten the
fighting
rook.
piece. Think of it this way: you're out of resources, right? So you got to MacGyver something.
F5.
And yeah, king f5.
Yeah.
King
Okay.
f5 because this attacks the rook, but
Yep.
the other thing it does importantly is it controls this e5 square.
Hmm.
So there's no way to establish itself attacking multiple pawns. And when the rook like attacks your pawn, you can just guard that. And at a minimum it's a draw, like something like this. Minimum. You could always try to get fancy with it or something like instead of there go here and be like, "Oops." Let him take the pawn and then you checkmate him. There's always that. But,
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, this is the move that actually lost the game is the
Backing
king
it off.
h5.
Ah,
Yeah.
sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is absolutely true, and I see
Chess
how
is
it's
hard.
true.
Chess is hard.
No,
So,
right on, man. Right on. That's great.
yeah, yeah, attack something.
Yep.
Attack something. And now this rook is controlled. So the reason that this is better for black, or at least drawing if not winning, is because your rook is doing work
Mm.
and your king is doing work. His rook is doing work, like attacking stuff,
Mm.
whatever, but his king is not. And in fact, his king is a liability, and that's how I just tricked him into checkmate, right?
Mm.
King is liable right now to be mated. I'm not saying this is forced or works, but it just proves the point that the king is
Would
weak.
that also work? E8.
No,
Same.
because there's well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, it would. It's kind of a more obvious threat.
Why?
The problem is
Ah,
with
because
this
the king
move.
can move. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it.
Well, the king can move anyway.
Right, but that doesn't fix it. Oh, I mean that does fix it. Yeah, yeah.
And now actually you're worse, but like even this, okay, this actually shows you why. So you slipped into a worse position, gambling that he would hang checkmate. But why? Well, because White's king got active, and
Yeah.
you kind of fixed that position for him. So here's the lesson to this. Okay, in the first game you resigned when you didn't have to. In the second game, well, actually, I think it was the third game. You weren't taking pieces that you could have taken because you didn't see them. And in this game, you held on till 30 moves. Actually, it was 30. The 31st move is the one who lost the game. 31
Mm.
moves
Okay.
before you actually ended up in a worse position. You have more fight in you than you're giving yourself credit for. And you have more ability to win more games than you think you do. You got to quit botting out.
Ah.
You got to fight. And so you can go a lot farther and turn a lot more points around, even when you don't think you can. Like this move right here, free pawn. Free pawn. No reason to do that. He goes from a winning position to a draw with this move. And there's no reason to do that. And then you're back in it. And how did you know from the opening, if you resign on move 12, how did you know on move 29 he'd throw it away?
Mm.
So, um, that's the chess I got for you this week. I
Nice.
hope the next week, you stay in the fight longer,
Just
and I
stick it
think we'll
out,
see
eh?
some more wins. What's that?
Stick it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't bot out. You never know.
It's good. Good.
So,
Good advice, man.
um, I'd love to know how my risk is.
Yeah, let's do it. Good fences make bad neighbors. This is a Robert Frost poem.
Well, that's I know
You
I
know
heard
that?
that somewhere.
That's
I know
the
I've heard that somewhere. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's a
It's from a Robert Frost poem. Okay,
I,
I'm going to put the speed at 2x, and you'll tell me sort of where the stops are. You have a little document here where the stops are.
well, that is for the next video.
Okay, so this one is just
There's not a whole lot to. I mean, I
no
hope that really what I
straightforward.
want to talk about is
Yeah.
cap choice.
Okay, cap choice. Great. So let's look at the board. We're going in, and we see a 5-player game, and the bot's in the ultimate seat. You are white in the 4th seat. Okay, so before we look at our opponent's capitals, let's figure out where our best possible cap is.
Okay.
I think I already know where you're going to choose, but I'm happy to be wrong. Okay, so this is a very choky board, right? So we have the Cadiz Blizzard, we have the Splitally, we have the Greece Blizzard, we have the Georgia Blizzard, we have the Denmark Blizzard, and we have, what is that, Karelia. So 6 of our 8 blizzards are hard chokes. Okay, and this creates a very linear map that starts in Morocco, goes all the way through Africa on the bottom line, goes all the way through Istanbul on 1 points. So we have a series of 1 points up to Bulgaria, which holds the entire bottom of the map. That is an incredibly cool map. I love this map already. However, I'm anticipating that you're going to pick on the 3 in Africa and get yourself locked into doom. Which, if you do, I don't blame you because you don't really have alternative great options. Other viable positions for this map, we have a similarly amazing noob corner. So Scandi goes through Scotland, goes through Oslo, goes through London on a 1 point. So our Africa bottom is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus another 6 in Orient. So plus 15 on a 1 point. That's an incredible pocket. And then we have a long noob corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of Iceland, Scandi, and London. We have an ancillary pocket in the Gascony cap, so we expect to see someone there. I don't know.
The other thing I found interesting about that is that the
Yes.
noob corner doesn't stop at London. If you go down into Spain, you're stuck, and you try to come out of France, it's just 3 territories across. Actually, 2 if you want to just count the top of Italy, which is
Sure.
not Venice. What's the
So
one above top Italy?
Alps.
Alps. Okay, so Alps plus Normandy
Yep. There's a
is a
2
full
point.
block.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
The reason I pay so much attention to 1 points and far less attention to 2 points like that is because we're still in cap choice. So we don't know who's going to cap where. And 1 points ultimately decide how the map, like the blizzards plus the 1 points, decide how the topology actually works in game, right? So if there is a Normandy cap but not an Alps cap, or if there's a Marseille cap but not a Normandy cap, then that noob corner is accessible. Whereas for the bottom, if there's a Bulgaria cap, an Istanbul cap, an Ankara cap, what is that other territory in? So there are. I'll show you. I mean, I can't show you with the drawing tool, but Bulgaria, Istanbul, Turkey, Egypt, all of 5 of that bonus are all 1 point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different territories that can be 1 pointed on the bottom. This likely will lead to the bottom being 1 pointed by multiple people. So someone is Cucaracha on someone else. I'm going to run it now, and let's see if we can see anyone's capitals. I bet you we don't, though, right? Maybe we see Magenta 2 in Oslo?
See, I don't know how you do that.
What do you mean?
I
Yeah,
don't
we do see.
understand
Okay,
how
so we do see magenta
how
two and also.
do
No,
you
no,
do that?
because 1 points. Okay, so I'm actually talking you through how I see it. So the blizzards make the pockets, and then the players cap the pockets.
Right.
Right. So you're going to
Right.
cap on your 3, which is an okay move as long as nobody's behind you. Um, maybe you don't cap your 3, but where else would you go? Right?
So
You're in a rough spot. I don't like this
right,
spawn for
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to be validated on the fact that I feel like I got screwed here, but
You did. You got unlucky.
good,
Yeah.
good. So, I do cap the 3,
Yeah. Okay. And we don't see
and
anyone
you
else's
can
cap.
see the disappointment.
I don't. Okay. So, but it's not the end of the world. It's still up to how you play it. And yellow. Oh, that's good for you. That
Yeah,
wait, are you
right?
playing as Caddy the Eagle? Black
Am I
is a
playing what?
KPO finalist.
Is he?
Black is a KPO 1 finalist. I
I
wonder where he
you know,
capped.
I do not look at people's names, and I also don't know anybody's
No, that's fine.
names.
I
You know
recognize
what I
his
mean?
name just from that flash. I'm like, oh, that's that's Caddy the Eagle. Okay, great. Um, so let's talk about your first turn. I'm curious to see how you play it. Also, beating neighbor cat. Oh, that's good for you. Purple wastes a 2.
Right?
Okay.
And I thank him.
Can you take this
Not
turn
thank
1?
him in the game. What's that?
Can you take this turn 1? However, we do see a 4 in Egypt. Does that tell us that purple is there? Hmm.
So, that's what I said too.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get bad dice? How do you lose here?
Well, we're gonna find
You
out.
must get terrible
So,
dice.
you're on my first turn?
Yeah. No, you get great dice. Okay. So magenta puts troops behind you? Magenta took Oslo and he kukaraches you. Yes. Yeah. I see. Instead of pushing out from his noob corner, he just decides to randomly ruin your game.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what looks like is about to happen. If you're telling
Find
me
out
this is,
next turn
if
or something.
you're
I don't
telling
know.
me that this is how this game goes,
Well, I I'm on my second turn on my
yeah.
video. I'm not sure
Okay.
how far into it you are,
Yeah.
but
Let's just fast
basically,
forward to your second turn.
sure.
Okay. 13 troops.
Pink
Oh no, he
took the new
doesn't.
corner.
He doesn't
Right,
screw
pink took
you.
the new corner. And I have basically one more card. I thought about investing in my exterior here, particularly up in Russia, because it's a bot. I know I have to get pink out of there.
You do.
Um,
You're fine. This is great.
but
What happened? This is amazing.
well,
I love this open. What's wrong with this open?
I feel like that's spoiling the ending. You know,
Okay,
I don't
because
know.
purple's cap is also there.
Okay, so tell me where we're. Well, maybe I'll pick a timestamp here.
Yeah. Push me forward.
Okay,
I'm trying to think how
you
you
can
lose
skip
this.
all the way up to probably 11 minutes at least,
Go to 11
and you get to
minutes.
see a little bit more of the board. So here my capital is locked,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Do you,
think I
do
take
you know anyone else's cap yet?
no, but I know that it's somewhere in Istanbul, Bulgaria, something or other.
Okay, so
And red,
you are still Kukarach on the bottom line.
yes, and red is working so slowly in Iraq or something like that.
Another question.
So,
Do you
mhm.
know who's at war with who?
No, because I can't see a dang thing.
Okay.
So around 12 minutes, you'll see I kind of start to make a move. 12:16 on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I invest in the exterior here, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I'm supposed to do that, but I also invest off cap to remove black, I think.
Yeah, definitely
And
neither. Neither of these are good moves.
really,
Yeah, these
how
are
come?
yeah. Um.
Okay, learning moment.
Oh
Hit
yeah.
me.
No, this whole thing is a learning moment. You're even from your first turn, I would have done things differently. So right now, we don't know exactly who's where, and we should.
Right. We know where pink is.
Yeah, but we've no idea where black is.
Not really.
We can't infer from generation.
Uh, let me go back. Let me see if that is something I did on the
We
turn.
need to figure out who's where, because that will inform how aggressive we can push.
So I do want to note that the caps have switched.
Yep. Someone. Well, no, you have two caps.
Right. Right. So that's hiding the
Yeah, you
information
don't
from
know.
me
Yeah, you
unless
just don't
somebody
know
has
who's
just
hitting who. You have to
right.
infer from generation.
Okay.
So 8 tells us that magenta has their cap on their 1 point. You actually have their kill guard, and it looks like they're fighting
Correct. And that's one
somebody.
of the reasons I did that.
So hold on. Purple has botted, right? So you take the purple kill here, right? On
Okay.
15 minutes, 15:10, I'm guessing.
Okay. So I wanted purple to open me,
Yeah.
and I put the 6 off of Iraq so that purple would open me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
Is purple a bot at this moment? I
Yeah,
think purple
purple.
may
I
have
think purple
botted.
was a bot last turn too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're waiting
So
for
we're at
purple to give you
15
a
minutes.
third card. Okay. That I don't terribly hate. Does red have
And so
anything? I missed it.
I'm debating whether or not I wanted to kill purple on this turn. Instead, I decide to add to the top
Yeah.
and bust through Russia to take a look at what's going on there and try to maintain a stack outside of this pocket. I just figured that nobody would want to hit an 11 and I left a 4 in Russia so that somebody would hit a 1 instead of a 4.
Yellow bot just went to 5. You probably have the bot kill as well.
Okay? So
Let's see.
I did fail to notice that the bot went to 5
Yeah,
and
yellow
then
bot just went to
somehow
5.
just like
You
forgot
have
that they had
you have a explosive turn here where it is kill purple into kill yellow, I think, or vice versa.
okay.
Now let's see what purple does. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have almost certainly 100% on the purple position. Magenta's saying good game because I think magenta sees that you have a winning position. So what we do on this turn, 18-10,
Uh-huh.
is we add
And I'm on 5
everything.
cards, right?
Yeah, you're on 5
Yeah.
cards. We add absolutely everything to the 4, I think. And
You add to the 4. Okay.
yes, we add to the 4. We
Mhm.
take we take perfect vision of Russia. We clean Sevastopol, and then we kill purple. We
Oh,
run
okay.
we run our cap to where it hits, or we run our cap stack to where it hits a block, which is either Istanbul or Bulgaria.
Okay.
Killing purple in the process. We use those troops to add to our Russia stack, killing yellow. Then we either have enough troops to punch through the Bulgaria Istanbul or see if we also get magenta.
Okay. I'm
That's how
not
I
that
that's
fast
how
at
I see this.
processing that, so I
Yeah.
think so I'm more like brutish,
Let's see what you
right?
did.
Or I guess what I should call it is unsophisticated.
You definitely
So
kill purple, right?
taking the vision of Russia prior to doing anything else is a great idea,
Oh
and
yeah.
it didn't occur to me that I should do that prior to doing
Okay,
anything
so we
else.
take the
I
easy
thought at
kill on
this
purple.
moment
Yeah.
yeah, now what, it's funny, I'm making the same gesture I am in the video right now here
Oh,
because I'm, like,
this is
as
great.
nervous I'm as nervous
Oh,
now
why are
as
we
I
hitting red? Why are we hitting red caps? No, no, no. Oh no.
What?
Okay.
What?
Okay. Doesn't set us.
Why am I hitting red?
Red caps.
Okay, an important thing to note here is that
Yeah.
red has not held a bonus all game, so I know the troop count
Double
is
trade. Look at you. This is
good.
lovely.
I came out of Bulgaria, I hit Bulgaria, and I thought, "Oh my god, there's another Russian cap." I had no idea that red had 3 capitals. I was like, "Surely that's black who has 3 or something."
Okay.
So I'm, like,
So
shocked that I killed red and I got the cards there,
So
and then
pause at 20 minutes.
okay,
Okay, so this is the very end of your turn. So you played amazingly lucky, but you played well, and now you have earned 5 of the 6 capitals.
right,
You happen to know where the final cap is.
yes.
You do. And you just got
So
a double trade.
and another trade next turn.
Well, no. Let's not talk about next turn. Let's talk about this moment. 22,
Oh,
27.
okay,
You're putting in 22 plus 27 on an open line, and you know where the last cap is. And the guy who has
okay,
that cap is Magenta. And you have all of this locked up material in Russia. You almost certainly have the cap run here,
okay. I
right?
wasn't sure if I had that yet, but what I knew was that the set and that I checked the cards at 20 minutes and 1 second, I think, in order to see what the set is
Yeah.
and say the set is 30.
Hmm.
And so I have 31 on that Bulgaria cap. And I was just like, there's no reason why, if there's 2 players and I hold half the board, there's no reason why I need to rush this or cap
Okay.
run it.
So that is a great thing to pay attention to. I think that is absolutely perfectly wrong. So
Okay.
black is counting on
I was
yes.
excited by the beginning of your sentence.
No, it's
The
good.
end.
This is a really good. This is a really good thing to pay attention to, right? If you're in a
Okay.
3-player scenario,
Hmm.
I read based on how black and magenta were at war. I read that black has been fighting magenta, and now that I
Right.
see that you have all of the caps except for magentas, that means that black is on it. We confirm that by magenta's generation being only 3.
Correct. And yeah, I failed to mention that. I do know that
Yes.
black holds it.
Yes.
And
So
so pink is killable.
not only is pink killable, you have the ability to keep black off. You have a very nice pocket with Bulgaria. So you have the
Right.
ability to keep black off their bonuses. You know where they
Yes.
are, and you know that they probably can't defend you. So letting them
Right.
hold Germany, France, Spain, probably some of the noob corner, absolutely not at this point. You put this game down, right? Still thinking of this as a 3-player game, gives tempo to your opponents, gives them a chance to set, gives them a chance to come back. Absolutely not. Right? I will step on my end. If you were going to do that, you would want to save a piece of magenta behind you. But it looks like you just have the cap run here.
So I'm getting 52 on my
Oh, you
21
get a bad
minute
roll?
turn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, you get robbed. Oh, no.
Black is
Okay.
fist bumping me, saying, "Please don't kill me."
Yeah, he kills. Okay. You still win. You still win the game. Black takes a controlled second. I respect that because he knew you were just way too dominantly large. But had he decided to fight you,
Yeah.
you might have been in trouble.
Okay. Because he's on. I mean, I don't know why I went into Iceland to kill pink. If I had those 3 more troops, the dice,
Yes,
come up
that's right.
differently.
They come up very
Um,
differently. If you have a cap run and you don't feel any certain way about your opponents, which I don't see why you would in this game, take it.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't. I think I screwed that up. So basically, you're saying when I finished Russia, I should have either left a piece of pink behind me or I should have just kept going into black. I think my concern was I was running out of troops, and then if I'm hitting black, that I wouldn't get enough troops to guard Bulgaria
Well,
anymore.
something to consider as well with
Yeah.
that one is that distance has its way of being its own guard. So if you push
Mhm.
into black and you create space between your actual cap becomes Bulgaria, right? All of your other caps kind of don't matter, and the only one we really need to protect at this point in the game, otherwise we lose the game, is Bulgaria. So if you break all of black's bonuses there, I think black still takes the controlled second. Because he's been fighting a war of attrition with Hockey Dude 44 up in the corner, who I also have played.
It
So
should always be assumed that I have no idea who anybody is.
no, that's fine,
I
and
mean,
I don't
this is
pretend to know
this
who
is funny,
anybody
I've
is
been
either,
to
but
2 games, and in both of them, you've been like, "Oh, I know this guy," and in
I
this
play a
game, you
lot.
so out of 2 games, you know 3 players,
I
and
play a
I'm
lot.
like,
I
"Huh,
play these
this."
settings a lot too. And no, Caddy the
Okay.
Eagle was a finalist for KPO1. He's quite good, suffice to say.
Well,
So okay, so let's talk about your cap choices. We talked about. Let's talk about your
yeah,
turn one.
okay.
So we're going to timestamp 3 minutes. No, yeah, 3 minutes 30 seconds. Beginning of your
We're
first
still
turn.
in with you're in the round 2 game, right?
Yeah. Let's stick with this game. Just
Okay.
a few more teachable moments.
Did you see the ranks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So turn one, 3 minutes 33 seconds. You put 4 troops to get 100% roll on Rabat, but then you give yourself, what is it? A 6 has to hit 3. A 5 has to hit 3. So I think this is something we very commonly see, and you don't get punished, thankfully, but we very commonly see players make suboptimal, imperfect rolls. So in this situation, a 3v1 from Morocco to Rabat is an 89% roll, but your odds of hitting successfully 3 territories goes way up if you make just one of those stacks a 7. Now, I think
So
you
where are
hit
you
Sard.
saying I should have put the troops?
So
I
here's
do 100% on Rabat. Okay, I got you.
I think you
But
don't.
then
I think you don't do that. That's I
okay,
think the error. Either
okay.
that or trying to attack into Sardinia. Right? You can do 100% on Rabat. You can do everything else on the where you made a 6. I think you don't add that final troop to the 2. Or so you didn't make it a 6, you made it a 5. Right?
So
If you made it a
so
6, what you end up with is that 2 naturally guarding Sardinia and the expectation that purple doesn't care about Splittily. Deal with it
so
next turn.
so
Yep.
they're very the reason I did it that way
Mm-hmm.
is because purple rolled me in there, and I felt that I knew because of the prior turn where he's in Egypt
Mm-hmm.
that he knows I'm behind him and that he is not rolling me because he's a noob, but because he is trying to eliminate me from there. Also, if you look at Purple's vision
Mm.
of what he can see of me, he knows that I'm the enemy back there because he's in the center of Africa, so he could see everything, all 5 of my white territories. The only
Where?
thing he can't see, like at the initial turn,
Yeah, yeah.
the only thing he can't see is what would that be like Tunisia or something?
Right.
Um, so
This is true.
I thought purple was coming for me. So I place the troops there and I say in the video that like my priority number 1 is eliminating purple. If I can get rid of magenta, that's extra. Um and also the dice gods owed me at this point due to some previous things. Like it was time for my 3-on-1s.
A little gambler's fallacy, eh? Never hurt
Yes,
anybody.
precisely. You
Okay.
know, it never
So
hurt.
do you,
So I was stressing the idea that so that's the reason I turned it into a
sure.
3v1 to
Yeah.
attack Sardinia
Yeah.
is because purple is my enemy because I think they are in Egypt.
I think
So,
if purple's in Egypt, then they don't have a bonus.
well, they yeah, as long as I knock them out of Africa and take it for
No, I
myself, they
mean
don't.
they don't have a bonus immediately with which to add
Right.
troops behind. The way
Right.
you lose this position
Uh-huh.
from here is someone putting a bunch of troops in behind you.
Right.
Not just 5 troops. 5 troops, you're fine. You'll fight, you'll win, you'll set, and then you'll get your position. You'll get your position a bit later. But as we show by this game, the timing of how you played this actually allowed you to stay out of trouble long enough to snowball it. It's not always about just step on your opponent's neck because sometimes you're going to get ganged up on. I think you played this a lot more passively than I would have. And I think when you got red, you absolutely had that yellow kill first. So
When I got red? You mean when I got purple?
when you took, no,
I
purple
killed
was
purple, then
purple
I
was
killed red,
obvious.
then I
Yeah,
killed yellow.
then you killed red. So when you got red,
Uh-huh.
we were kind of blind, right? We didn't actually know how much red had. And there's nothing wrong with you hitting that first cap, which was a
Okay.
5. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead too much, but it was a 5 in 19 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so
I
you're
was a
sitting.
little blind to what was happening. I was shocked to see that red was the one who had the caps because the leader is 3-6.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump up. We're gonna jump up to 19 minutes now, where you roll the 5 cap of Bulgaria. We are sitting on Bulgaria with 62 troops. How much time is on our clock? More than half of our turn. This is where you want to take a breath.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the
That's
exact
something
moment.
I'm terrible at.
Yeah. That's why I'm mentioning it. This is where you want to look at the board and take just a moment, take a beat to say, what does this board look like now? Right? You already hit a red cap, so in your head you're like, might as well finish the job.
Yes, 100%. That's
Yeah,
exactly it.
might as
I
well
may even
finish the
speak
job.
that out loud.
However, you only spent 5 troops. And there is a 5 card kill available off of that 62 that sets you and will ensure that you can kill red. The only reason this kill worked at all, you took 3 semi-blind cap hits in a row. The only reason this worked is because red has been stealing caps from black, and you picked on him in the exact right moment.
Yeah, well, and I know that for a fact that he hasn't held bonuses. I
Yeah.
know that he's been getting
He's
+5,
getting,
+5,
yeah, he's been
+5,
getting picked
and I'm
at
getting
by
+10, +10, +10.
a yellow bot
So,
and probably by black. So red fed you this win. And
yes.
from
Thank you,
this,
red.
yeah, thank you, red. From this exact position, I think you still have the yellow kill, you have the red kill, and probably the cap run. But if you take the yellow kill first, you get a set, right? So the
I get
only
2 I double set.
yeah, I'm just quibbling, right? You got
Yep.
both kills
Okay.
anyways, but I'm quibbling because what if there were twice as many troops on Hungary, and
Right.
you're slightly too few to kill yellow here? What happens to your game then?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're right.
That's all I'm saying.
It's it is a lot, so I definitely should have taken a breath. You can tell that that's something I need to do because I slider error twice
Right.
into
In
Sevastopol,
Sevastopol, that's
and
right.
then at the end of it, I rush to finish my turn because I know I'm sweating, having enough time to fort back to Bulgaria,
Ooh,
and so
also
I am, like,
one more
getting
quibble.
super nervous that I'm running out of time, and maybe there's just more time than I think.
One more quibble.
Yes.
So now you've killed red. We're at 1915. Okay, let's take another breath.
Okay.
What do you want to do? You know you're going for the yellow kill, but you do it in a way that locks all of your troops up. So remember, I say we have 5 of the 6 caps. We take the yellow kill. We double set. Cap run. If
Well,
you run the 11 down, if you run the 4 around, you have an active 33. If you just go counterclockwise instead of
mhm.
clockwise here, right? You'll have an active 33 in pressure. You were trying to not antagonize black, maybe?
I think I chose the path that I saw first,
Okay, so we
and I
go.
was like, "Move, move, 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 move." So I just visualized the path and I took it.
Okay.
And like at 1953, you can see
Mhm.
that I start tapping Sevastopol in a panic,
Right.
and I'm like,
Right. I see it. This is panic placement now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the final thing I'm going to say about this video, right? Great win, but
"Okay,
I want you to notice when you had opportunities to improve your position.
yeah,
So specifically, pushing out of a 1 point, getting the purple kill, getting Bulgaria sooner, getting the cap run sooner. We could have killed yellow in a counterclockwise pattern, that would have left the stack open and active. And if you put your entire generation on it, that's actually time efficient too. Then you create distance between you and black. Maybe fort the 11 down to Bulgaria and let magenta exist back there, because having them be in two places means you get the kill. Stuff like that. But
Very good.
yeah, you did very well, and that's a great game. Well played.
Yeah. Well, a lot of luck, a lot of surprise. I could have done a lot better there.
Well, remember what I
But
said to you last week. I think you're going to lose a lot of games because of luck, and you're going to win a lot of games because of luck. So you might as well take them.
yeah, right.
I don't think you played badly, right? I think the whole point of these lessons is to just talk about other more likely lines of play and ways to min max from here, because you're not a novice, right? Like, you're playing very well. You're
No, but
seeing
I don't.
stuff. There's
No
just
master.
there's
Definitely not a
all
grandmaster.
sorts of level up moments, and those are the few that I see. So what are we doing for game 2?
Yeah, game 2 of today, round
Timestamps.
3. I sent you all the timestamps.
I see 'em.
Yeah. So I guess to talk about the cap choice would be the first way to go.
Okay, 3 minutes in.
No, just 0 minutes in.
0 minutes in.
1 minute.
Okay.
So something like that.
We are spawning into a game. Playing is red. What do we see? See no significant blizzards other than Egypt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No significant blizzards. Okay. No
Exactly.
pockets. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the most influential thing is Egypt.
Yep. And no good caps for you either. Okay. Let's see where you cap. Okay. Before you do, where would I cap? We probably will see black.
This is my favorite part of these lessons. Is like, come on.
We don't. All right.
Do it.
Do
what I did.
Do the good thing. What do I like here? No, because this is a almost neutral choice. This is almost a non-choice. Well, okay, no, that's not true. There are a number of very bad choices, actually. You actually only have, I'd say, one good choice. Or one
Okay, what is it?
Not terrible choice. I like the 2 in Russia.
Okay.
I think maybe an argument could be for the 1 in Russia. I think everything else is I think everything else is terrible, frankly.
Okay. I was going back and forth between Germany but I feel like white is going to roll that. White deserves that, and white will be mad. France, because I don't know. There's a lot of troops there. Yeah. I definitely didn't want to do whatever's between London and Scotland.
Yep. Why?
Why didn't I want to do that?
Yeah. Why is Murcia a terrible cap?
I mean, it's closed even if I hit London, London's a 1 point as well. So
Correct.
then I'm into a 1 point into somebody else, and then I can't even come out of Germany because, like I said,
right.
will take it.
But
okay.
I want to mention that the reason Murcia sucks is the same reason Berlin sucks, is the same reason Paris sucks.
They're all internal.
All 3 of these caps are internal to their bonuses.
Right,
and this lesson is more for everyone listening along. The reason you don't want to cap in a corner is a similar reason to why you don't want to cap internal to a bonus. When you take the bonus the cap is in, the cap neither helps guard it nor is active to get you cards or kills later. So all 3 of these caps absolutely suck because of that same reason. Israel's a corner. Then we have a bunch of kind of interior ones that don't do us any good. And that's why, process of elimination, I kind of only look at those 2 territories in Russia as being the not great options, frankly, but the best of what you've been dealt. Which one do you choose? I'm so curious to know which one you choose.
I assume you're rolling tape.
I am. And Kharkiv, good job.
For
Hey!
the audience's awareness, I cannot see Pete's screen,
No.
so I'm watching the video separately. I don't know if he draws something, I don't see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Are we going to minute 3 now?
yes, 3 minutes in,
3 minutes on the clock. What
we see
happens?
where pink has capped. We see where white has capped. We know where I am. We don't see black, but it's black's first turn.
And you didn't see any of black's motion?
I don't see any attacks at all, but watch the fortify.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
I know it
black's
is snap.
fortify?
Black, where
Oh,
black
okay, sorry.
fortified.
Sorry, I have to go back. It's before 3 minutes then. The fortify. Okay. So black's Italy.
Well, yeah, I think somewhere in there, I don't know how deep the connection goes. Yeah, black is definitely in Italy,
Yeah.
but it's where and how far up. Like, is his capital in Italy? We don't know that.
Mhm. No way to
It could
know.
be in Denark Alps.
The other thing we can pay attention to is how many attacks did he make?
Correct, but I don't know where. But it's the first turn, so
Yeah.
I don't know. He could be starting anywhere.
Yeah. He
I don't have any
moves.
idea. Like, what if he spawned 2 territories or 3
Yeah.
territories in there, and then it's like that ruins the math. But it's like a general idea of he's okay, somewhere there he's connected. And we know that he didn't put in on that 2.
Mhm.
He didn't drop it and then fortify it
Yeah,
out.
he
It was
probably
there to
pulled it
start,
to a
which means he
capital.
felt that that was his best idea.
Yeah.
So so I do what I can in Russia
Yep.
on my first turn, which is not that interesting. And then pink. Pink
Mhm.
starts the turn at like 350.
Mhm.
It goes to about 5 minutes. Um, Pink behaves extremely weird.
Yeah, noobishly.
Well, yeah, you'd think, right?
They're
So
not?
I believe that they are pretty noobish.
Yeah.
I will tell you this as a spoiler alert, okay?
Mhm.
Or as a foreshadowing. The
Mhm.
ranks are weird.
Ah.
That's what I'll say. The ranks are weird. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I find it to be shocking.
Okay.
I was stunned.
So we lose purple.
We do. And we
White
see white.
takes Africa? No. White doesn't take Germany either. They don't add to their capital. So white is rolling the purple cap then. Oh, they do take Africa. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
also take Southeastern Europe. Fine.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm saying, okay, cool. I saw, okay, yellow takes a turn. And then I see black start their turn. Is it this turn they start their turn with some significant generation? Yeah, 11.
Okay. So they have both Daenerys Alps and Italy. No.
That's
They
what
have
I
Italy.
think.
They have
Well,
Italy.
that's too many, but
That's
it's
too
like
many.
it's a lot of territories,
Yeah, they took turn one Italy.
right? And 15 territories.
Sure. That makes sense. He
So
breaks white.
black
Yeah.
spawns next to me,
And breaks white.
drops troops next to me, and then goes down into white.
Yep.
So I'm loving that.
Yep.
Okay.
He's going to break you next, though.
You think so?
Well,
Black?
unless he doesn't see you, which is a good thing to note. You took Russia there in a way that black didn't see. So I like that. That was a good move by you, right? You didn't light up the cap and run off the cap. You
Yes,
ran
correct.
behind the cap
Correct. You mean
to
on
do that
turn
on
2?
purpose. Yeah, on your turn too. Yeah.
Yes, I did that on purpose, and I
Good.
also take out an extra territory of pink because pink is an idiot.
They appear to be. They
They
appear to
appear to
not be
be an
great.
idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Absolutely.
appear to be an idiot. So they fail on pink's turn. I'm at 7 minutes.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
forget you play with neutral bot.
yeah, I always okay. So yeah, so I always play with neutral bot, or I try
Mhm.
to, because I don't think it's fair in a cap situation for a bot to just be able to roll off, and the person who made the bot happen, made the person bot out,
Mhm.
isn't the person
Is
who
rewarded.
gets. Yeah,
Well,
like
we find the yellow
I
cap.
like black might hit me, I bought out, and then pink gets my capital, and it's like, why is that fair? So I don't play. I don't. I will play with with a bot if it's world dom, but caps just it ruins the game for me. It's like that's the opposite of what you would want it to be. If I were to design an automated bot, I would just say put troops on your capital, and that's how I would program the bot to be. But
Sure,
I don't work for
sure.
SMG and they don't pay me, so
I let me say this, right? You've given me some pointers as far as attitude goes. So I'm gonna give it back to you in this way. Play the game that is, right? I'm as guilty of this as the next guy. So sometimes I
right.
need to take my own advice. But the game that is, as opposed to the game that should be, um, is conducive to your getting greater enjoyment out of it. I think the question of fairness around the bot at this point in my game, I know exactly what the bot's going to do. And yes, it has cost me games, and yes, it has handed me games on a platter. Um, but I really do think that if you just look at it as another one of those luck elements and make your peace with it doing the thing it's going to do, I find that it will allow you to. I mean, you're looking for consistency here. I guess we should talk about that. What is your actual goal with this tutoring and this series? Like the number one thing you want us to achieve is
Well, primarily I want to get a greater enjoyment out of this by raising my awareness of the psychology of the game and others. When I first started playing Risk, I thought it was like defend a piece of land, build up your territories, don't let people in, try to get strategic strikes and stuff like that. And then it wasn't only after playing for a very short time when oh wait, this is actually a friend simulator. Uh, try to
sometimes.
try to manipulate people into doing what you want them to do without actually letting them know that you're manipulating them and things like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
I found great enjoyment of the game from that aspect of it, and the strategy of it has somewhat fallen away of it as an interest of mine. So primarily, that's why I take a particular interest in your tutoring is because you're saying things to me that you see other players thinking that hadn't occurred to me in any regard. And
Well, then
that
why aren't
that's
we
that
doing
I get like a dopamine hit every time you're telling, "Oh, did you see that Black thanks him and he's
mm,
in the fog? Why would you thanks?" And I was like,
why
"Oh god, that's where Cap is." Something
why
like
aren't
that.
we playing fixed caps with alliances then?
Uh, stalemate Risk. I'm a busy man, and Prague is necessary to allow caps to be hit.
All
Now,
right,
I
all
think I
right.
may try that someday. I would like to try that when I can guarantee I can sit for 2, 3 hours, but if I have, a 2 or 3 hour sit down, it's to play chess. So, um
The Thursday series, if you look at the playlist, it's you might be surprised that that
I
bucks your
am surprised I've
yeah.
seen it, and I am surprised every single time, and I say, "There's no way that happens to me."
Well,
I'll be there for
I'll
3
tell
hours.
you one thing I've noticed from watching even those first two games is I am more aggressive than you, style wise, but also this will come once you have more reps in and you see the lines better, right? You'll be able to get more out of your pieces. Um,
Okay. You know what? I may take that up this next time. I may not play Metafog. I may
do whatever you
play
want, but um,
well, I think you've convinced me that maybe that's what I want. Maybe I wanna try that.
if the thing you're enjoying is the psychological element, um, seeing everyone else and trying to read what they're going to do and trying to, manipulate them into doing what you want. In my opinion, there's no greater than those negotiation settings. But yeah, you kind of have to make your peace with the true random as well. Are we bumping ahead to where are we?
So,
Black
you
hits
tell me.
white. Right now, I'm at 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay.
Um, so 9:40 is your next timestamp. What happens at 9:40?
So, yeah, so Pink failed to take Spain, ran out of troops, did not fort anything, even though he's got a 4 sitting right there.
You take Russia, and then you go for the +8. No,
Right.
you go for a disconnected Germany. Oh, interesting.
Sort of.
Is Black gonna let you do that?
What I wanted to do is actually take Scandinavia.
Oh, okay.
Wanted to take
Oh,
Germany
and I
on the
like
way.
that you connected to your capital. Very well played. So now if you lose Germany, you don't lose your troops, and you're not at super big risk of. Oh, is this another snowball? No. This game goes for a while. Okay. This looks like it could be. If everything goes your way, but something must not. You're saying Magenta plays very haphazardly. Well, they've finally taken a bonus. And our next timestamp is 10:35. Okay, we saw that. And then 12:46. Yellow removes me from
So,
Africa.
yeah, I'm noticing that pink is rolling 3-on-1s all the time.
Okay. Both bonuses hold.
Yeah, I didn't wanna be removed from Africa, because I keep saying, "Oh, I'm taking the pink cap next turn." That's why I took Germany, so that I would have the troops to take pink,
Oh, why?
the pink capital.
Why?
Why what? Why would I take the pink capital?
Yeah, why is that a good move?
Because it's like turn 3 and he's got 5 on it. Like,
Okay.
wow,
Okay,
I will
great.
take that.
Great. This is a mistake. You are in a absolutely dominant, uncontested northeast spawn.
Right,
This is
right, right.
amazing. You will get so much more value out of your troops by capturing that +8, by capturing Scandi, by getting the unoccupied noob corner, right? There's just so
Yeah,
much board you can take, and you can worry about this dope in Africa who doesn't put troops on his capital way later when you're holding half the board by the fourth turn. Like, this is an amazing
okay.
first 4 turns, right? Why are we wasting our time getting into a war on the other side of the world?
Because
No.
pink is an idiot and I cannot abide his
Oh,
existence.
no. You will get him,
I
but you will
know.
get them
I
all.
agree. I
You see what I'm
yes,
saying? Yeah. Okay.
sometimes you
You get an idea in
sometimes
your head
you
and
want what
you
you can't
lock
have,
in.
which is
Yeah. Which is his capital. Okay. So 14, 13 white hits me. Someone had to.
yeah, I took, you saw me take Scandinavia
I do.
and purple bot
It
or
has.
purple
Yeah. Someone
MIN.
has to.
And
Somebody
now
has
here
to.
comes pink up in Spain, and so yeah, so white hit me, but then he went down into
Yellow. We know where yellow's cap is too,
yeah.
right?
Where do you think it is?
Istanbul.
Okay, yep,
Yeah, we saw a
I
10.
agree.
We saw a 10 stack roll off of it earlier.
Yeah, right.
So that's good. We probably have. Do we have all the caps then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have a general idea of all the caps. That means there's no cap in noob corner, so you just might as well take it next. Thinking. Okay, 15 minutes. Black hits you too, eh? In Germany.
Mhm.
So we go from 0 to
15,
0.
yeah, 15:30 exactly, hero to 0.
Okay.
Uh,
Sure.
so now I'm getting +9, and I think what happened, I've noticed this, is when you get 19 troops, everybody's cool with you. When you get 20 troops, the front digit rolls over to a 2, everybody's pissed.
All right. So
It's like 2 is t that's you can't have a 2 in front of your troop count. It's not allowed. So then I start thinking like, well, okay, they hit me not because I did anything to them, but because I'm winning.
mhm.
So all I have to do is not win so much. So I took back Russia and let
Mm.
Germany stand.
Okay. White breaks you again?
And then pink comes up through
Yeah.
France.
Yeah.
Um,
Does white break you again?
where are we at? On
They do.
white's
They do. Yeah.
turn?
They've
So
already started now.
right, so they declared war, right?
Yeah.
So I left a 3 on the border, and I thought they might be cool with that, and I
They're
don't know
not.
what the heck I did to white.
You
I don't think I
didn't.
did anything to
He
white.
just
I think I
sucks.
was
He
just
sucks
winning.
too. He sucks too. This is a player who must finish a war that he started. So this is just sunk cost fallacy in against you.
Right, so
Right.
we can agree there's no way white will ever stop hitting me
No,
or
not
forgive
no
me, right?
way. Oh, you lose a cap too? Ah, no. Black and
This
white
is
are
going
fucking.
backwards, isn't it? The tide is
Well,
receding.
no, because
Yeah.
hold on. Did black ever hit white? Yes, he did. Okay, black did hit
Oh,
white.
yeah, in the beginning,
They've
remember? Black
shifted
hit
to
white,
you. They've shifted.
immediately broke white,
They've shifted to hitting you. Oh
and
yeah.
white
What do you do here?
immediately broke black.
Okay, I don't do that. Oh no, 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 no. Okay.
What am I doing?
So we are in your 19 minutes turn.
Yeah. So I tried to hit white. It didn't work.
You
So
set.
I said I'm gonna show black, and I'm not hitting black to prove anything to white. I'm hitting black to demonstrate to black that I've got some venom. So
No.
maybe this isn't good for you.
No, he's okay. He just rolled your capital. He
Right.
had the same bad idea that you had on magenta. In this situation, you are completely wasting your set. You're taking your
Okay.
first set. Is it the first set? Yeah. Right? Or is it our
Yeah.
second trade now? You're
No, I
taking
think
the
it's the
six.
first.
Yeah, you're taking the sixth trade and you're throwing it in the garbage because you're never going to hold that. Magenta is going to be a problem for black in the east now because you've already identified that magenta is garbage and they can't go into white. And because we see a 12 stack in Venice, it tells me that maybe there's a Sardinia cap or interior Italy, which is just terrible as well.
Yeah,
So I
I think when I went down, I was expecting the cap to
to
be
be in
in
Venice.
Denarc Alps,
Yeah, yeah. Or yeah,
but
okay.
it's not.
Absolutely.
Now I know it's in
So
Italy.
here's what I do on this turn. I set. I retake Russia. I maybe walk the cap down just to look at Romania and see if white holds it. And then I light it up and I say thanks. And I wait to see if he responds. You've
Okay.
seen me do this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And then you
retake
just
my
sit there and
bonus.
say,
This is the venom without overextending, right? This is like I'm gonna stick my gun in your face. I'm gonna say, "Are we good?" And you wait for a response. And if they don't give you one, you break, and then you go back to cap. And then at least he'll have the thought, "Okay, do I really want to go to attrition with this guy?" Right?
okay.
So he hit you. You checked. You basically took back what you got broken. He raised.
I left 3
He
off
hit
cap
you
to make it
again,
expensive. Yeah.
right? So now you
Right.
call. You say, "You sure you want to do this?"
Okay.
And then if he breaks you again, now at least you know. Right?
Okay.
Right now we're still wondering. We're still thinking maybe white has deniability, maybe he's hitting me because he doesn't want me to be huge. He's worried I'm going to snowball, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
Yeah, my thought was, okay, white's a maniac, so I would say, black, are you a maniac? Or do you just want to hold something and
So I'm
we can be cool?
good. So I'm reading the opposite. I think white
Okay.
has played more reasonable than black. Black rolled a
Okay.
cap really for no good reason.
All right.
And that's a dumber play than what white did, which was just break an undefended bonus.
So, at this point, though, because of what happened on my last turn, am able to deduce where the caps are,
Yes,
exact to the exact territory.
that's great.
So, where do you think that they are right now? Well, actually, I guess the only one we're missing is black, and
Yeah,
we both agree on yellow. So,
yeah. So I think
but
black is either Sardinia or interior to Italy.
okay,
And next time, state
Sardinia or interior. Okay.
Okay, magenta
So
hits you next. Yeah, of course they hit you.
my thinking here is
Yes.
that black is in Africa,
The top of Africa.
and that pink left the 4 there because it's adjacent to a capital.
Oh.
And why did pink go into Spain? It was because pink knew that Africa was not takeable.
Hmm.
And the only reason Africa would not be takeable would be if they saw a cap.
So black cap to
So the
gel.
fact that I see a 12 at the top of Italy tells me
Yeah.
that the cap is at the bottom of Italy, and pink's action told me that it was in Africa,
Okay.
ruining his chance to take North Africa.
Sure.
So that was my idea.
You think they've capped in the same bonus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think pink knew it and black did not.
All right. So right now I'm at 2130 and
Okay.
magenta hits you. So magenta is, I mean, we're calling him names and obviously nothing personal against the guy, right? Magenta is
Right.
playing like I often say he's playing it like fixed world dom.
Yeah, world dom, exactly. He's world doming. Yep.
And what I mean by that is a player playing it like fixed world dom is interested in hitting out from their position gradually with off cap stacks to guard and very slowly and steadily just taking more and more board and trying to get more and more value and breaking indiscriminately everyone they can. They will go into the adjacent space regardless of who is there. They have or they show no theory of mind of their opponents, right?
Right. They're new Phoenix, right.
This is
They're just
why
like, whatever, I just want to get choke points. Yeah.
So this is why when I saw you set to retaliate in black, I was like, oh, that's a waste of your set because Magenta's going to solve that problem for you. So
Okay.
when you said pink
I
pink
think I
hits me,
adopt that philosophy at the point where Magenta gets involved in
right?
the war with black. So I say,
Yeah,
cool, black doesn't seem to care about me anymore.
that. Okay, so where are we next? You see yellow getting +3. Yellow's lost a cap, and you're worried that you miss the yellow kill.
I didn't even know. However, in watching the game back, so I failed to notice that on the previous turn, and I hope the audience failed to notice as well, because now you can't say that you're better than me. Ha ha ha! Is that yellow got 3 on their turn,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even see that, note that, or anything, because I'm thinking about how do I get rid of black and white, and I'm not even thinking about yellow. And it flashes one time, it's a player you don't care about. You're trying to plan what you do on your turn, and then suddenly it's a +3, and oops, missed it.
Yeah. So
So,
where do we think yellow is? A bit more, and
well,
that's it.
he's MIA is where he is.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's in
So
the Orient. We know
yeah,
that because he's nowhere else.
but you don't take it here.
I actually know. In watching this back, am convinced that I could not have,
Oh,
because
okay.
is like somebody else's 3 in my way, and then a purple 4 in my way, and I didn't have the troops, and I would have lost my cap, and so. And the
Okay.
sets are low; they're only like 8 at this point,
And our
something
next
like that.
timestamp is 2450, where you retaliate on white because you're sick of his breaking you with
Yeah,
impunity.
I mean, it's not like an anger play here. It's a sometimes players, they have loss aversion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking advantage of the very natural tendency to care more about what you have.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called the endowment effect. Something that you already have is more valuable than something you could have.
To you, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, people will not trade. It's funny. If I offer you $1 in exchange for $1, like nobody, people don't take that for some reason. Like nobody wants that. It's weird. You'd think it'd be like a 50-50 if people would accept that trade, but they don't.
Well, I would never accept that trade,
Use
but
it.
I don't think that has anything to do with loss aversion.
Well, no, I'm saying it's the endowment effect. For some reason, they think the dollar they have is more valuable than the dollar that
No,
you have.
that's not
So
how, at
here,
least consciously, I'm seeing it. I would just there's
right,
no point in transacting.
right. So here, what I decided to do was hit white and try to give him some pain
Mm-hmm.
of losing something that he had, despite it
Mm-hmm.
not really mattering. I'm ruining his +4 and his +3 at
Yeah.
great cost to myself
Yeah. Yes, you are.
in order to defend my +7. Now, if we're at war, you would think he should just hit me back.
He let you hold
But
though.
I was trying to bank on the idea that he
And
just
you were
wouldn't.
right. In this exact case, your read was correct. He finally
Right.
stopped breaking you.
Yeah.
So showing teeth to
Yeah.
white there was, and that's why I was saying when you put your set into black, that was the turn, 2 turns earlier, where you just try and nip that fucking war in the bud. So now you take a
Yeah. Yeah.
+8. And I'm like, well, if he's gonna let me hold +7, you don't take the whole
Or
thing.
he's
Good
got to
for
let me
you.
hold +7 and let
Good
me
for
hold
you.
8
You don't
too.
take the no. You take way too much. Oh God. Oh God. No, you betray him too for his generosity. Now he's gonna set and smack you. He's on 5 cards. You did this to yourself. Okay.
So
You did that with eyes open. This
remember how
was
I said it wasn't emotional, Pete?
I never heard you make that claim.
I said I hit white not because I'm mad at him, but because I'm trying to psychologically
No, this
teach
time
him the
that
lesson
was
of
you
of
taught him
this.
a lesson, all right. You taught him to never let you hold anything again.
Well,
You re-raised hard there. Wait, he doesn't hit
I
you?
was lying, Pete. It's emotional.
Oh God. So he's gonna come through Islam, or he's gonna come through Orient now? Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna see Georgia light up. And here it is. Let's go.
So I celebrate at White's turn because I said, "Here, I'm gonna eat his cards. Oh no, here it comes!" And then he doesn't do it. He gets 30 troops, and then I'm like, "Oh, cool. He's going to go somewhere else." No,
I knew where that was coming.
the place he's going is to pick up 3 more cards for yellow.
Okay. So what do we do from here? Do we want to take note of this moment now? Now we've
I feel like the mistake is quite
obvious. Yeah.
self-evident. The
Yeah.
fact that I picked on a man with 5 cards when a kill was available on an MIA player speaks for itself.
Yes.
I am no genius, everybody. I am
No,
not.
but you're beautifully human.
Yes,
We've all been here. We've all found ourselves weakened by our own mistakes. Um,
right.
but you have more than an hour left in this game.
Aha, yes.
Right. So we're not going to quit. We're
Well,
not going to
okay,
bot
so
out.
what is my ace in the hole? I started to realize I do in fact have an ace in the hole. I have
Yes.
something that I can use to my advantage
Yes. I'm guessing.
psychologically.
I'm
What is
guessing
it?
your ace in the hole is that the worst player in this lobby is on the opposite side of the board.
Congratulations,
Hey,
that
we
is
got there.
exactly it. My my secret
Yes.
weapon is Pink's
Is
idiocy.
Pink's yes? Is Pink playing just completely misunderstanding the mode? Right, Pink is playing a different game in his head than the one that is actually being played.
That is right, the worst player on the board is getting plus 28, and your boy Phoenix is getting 5.
You don't need bonuses at this point. We're already in the third sequence, so you can already start to think about White has just given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cap
Yeah,
cards, and hey, if we're gonna go late game, there's almost nothing better than Kharkiv. So, 30 minutes and 40. You hit White again? No, you don't. Come on. Do you have a set here? Don't hit him
Well,
again.
I am also counting on the fact that Black hates White too,
Yeah. Why does Black hit
because
White?
of the early game shenanigans.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Oh my god.
right.
Oh god, you're so weak. Oh dude, you ride this so close to the line here. Yeah. If you
Yeah,
didn't have a set on 4, man, you'd be in real big trouble. Good on you for not opening the other cap.
right. So are
Uh,
you at about 36 minutes or something?
right now I'm at 31 and
Okay.
31:30, and our next timestamp is 32:36. 32:36 is Black hits. No, Black hits Russia,
Yeah,
but doesn't kill
and
you.
then
You're lucky. You're lucky he doesn't kill you.
well, I think he doesn't have the firepower to do that. I have
Yeah,
a 49 on cap, or what do you yeah,
not yet.
something like that, isn't it?
Not yet. No, I'm on Black's turn, but
Right, and I
now
do
it's your
believe
turn.
I say in the video, I await my inevitable
Yeah,
death.
yeah.
Um,
Do you break White
I
again?
am well
Oh my god,
aware.
how long does this war go? Stop! Oh my god! Oh, you break it 11 too. All right. Oh man. Oh man. If I'm White, I'm just gonna because White's in a fundamentally better position than you.
Yeah.
Now I wonder what Magenta's doing. Because Magenta's not being addressed by either of these guys. I can totally see why this game
Exactly.
game goes long. Oh, okay. 14 for White still. Takes everything back. No, he sues
Correct.
you. He sets and sues your capital. Don't do that. Okay, no, it's only
Who's
30.
that?
White.
Black? White.
34.55. Black hits everyone. 35.29. Black hits everyone. 35. So this is coming up. Black's turn is going to be a big one, you think? Only 10. Black's like enabling Magenta.
Right.
Okay, no, he finally goes in. He's like, I'm sick of this guy holding half the board. Okay. And 39. The pick gets frisky and sits in my bonus. Oh god.
But I'm like, "Thank you." He's the cavalry. I think I had a set on 4. This may be the turn I hit. I go to a set on 4, and I'm like, cool, I'll trade, and then I hit the button to go to attack. And I was like, no. Then I go to 5 cards.
Yeah, that's one of those things about this game that I really don't know why we can't click back from phases if no
Right,
game state has changed. We
right.
shouldn't be forced to lock in fortify or lock in attack if you know. That's
If
just
you haven't done it, yeah.
okay. So 41 minutes and 50. Pink helps out. What? Your buddy?
Yeah, if there's one thing you can count on for Pink to do, it'll be hit people.
Okay, he's gonna go into
So I
white
let that
now.
18 sit in my bonus. I'm cap stacking and passing,
Yeah,
and Pink hits,
down into white.
uh, yeah.
He doesn't care. He rolls 16 v22s like it's going out of style. White is getting huge. Okay, so if I can
Yes.
predict the future,
And he won the roll.
did
I'm
he
fairly
actually?
certain, right?
How do you know?
Well, because, uh, it says, what was it? Okay, maybe this isn't the one where he
Yeah,
does run that
I
roll.
don't think we
Yeah, yeah,
can
sorry.
know. We can see what was deleted, but we can't see if it was successful. White
Well, he
is
had 16 and he lost 15, so it must mean he lost the roll, right? I mean, maybe no, like, you can't. You wouldn't have any troops left to hold the other territory.
right. Okay, that's true. That's how you know.
So, white now is mad at everybody. So, I figure at this stage, what I can realize is that since everybody will fight everybody, I
Oh
should
no!
fight
Don't do
nobody.
this. Oh no! What are you doing? You're going for magenta. Why? He's too big. No, don't. No. Okay. Whew. No, he's still too big. I see your thinking here, but he has just way too many troops. Hmm. All right, 45
Well,
minutes.
wasn't there was like a cap slam, right?
Was there?
When I'm going into magenta, it was because white went into somebody. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's why the whole board is blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, figure I man, I gotta listen to my own audio,
Mm-hmm.
figure out what was going on there, but, like, I'm so close to the pink kill.
White is winning this game so
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
White has 4 of the 6 caps. Magenta just sued into black, I think.
What's
This
your
turn,
timestamp?
this turn you can go for the kill. 46-30. I'm thinking, or at least check on it. We had 6 troops. We have 13 in London. Do we look at the magenta kill? I think magenta sued black up in Scandi.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but you don't check on
Um,
that. Oh no, 98 stack. They haven't sued out yet.
right.
They're getting 8 troops. Do they? But I think they lost their cap. I think you and black still have their caps, and white has all 4 of the others. Right? Has to be. Magenta's off cap, but holding Spain. Set. They break you. Where are they going? Man, this guy's very chaotic. Okay. Going back down into white.
I mean, I would love to kill pink, but, like, I don't have 98
Okay,
troops,
now he got the cap. Now he got the black cap. 48-30. It's white's
Mhm.
turn. White sets on 3. And it wasn't the black cap, it was white up there who had it. Because we saw the cap switch back to 3. So
Right, and
black
I
only
begin
has
to
his
lose
original.
this. I sound like an idiot talking about who has caps
Okay.
on the live audio. Um, I'm totally like misunderstanding this because I'm watching too much of the board and not watching them change. So when I look up there and I notice it's changed, I don't remember what it used to be or when it changed.
Yeah.
I'll
The
be like,
cap
oh, it's one higher. I'll be like, oh, it's white's turn and now it's one higher, so white took a cap.
the
In
cap
fact, it's
counter
one
is in
lower.
an
Yeah.
inopportune location, but I think more importantly, I really want you to pay attention to the generation every turn. I
Yeah.
want you to look at that every single turn. I want that to be the thing you pay the most attention to, because that's going to help you understand position. Right? That's going to help you
Okay.
not miss kills. That's going to help you track number of positions, where people are, where people aren't. Your guiding light here is how much are they getting, right? It's actually
Right.
less about knowing how strong they are, although that really does still matter, and more about helping you track position.
That is a very clear weakness of mine is I
Yes,
let that stuff
you're
go.
not watching their generation enough or
Right.
carefully enough. Yeah,
Um, so I have a question for you at 53 minutes.
we're
It's
going
actually, if
to
you look at it at 52:40 or so.
all right. We're going to
I have a
52-40.
set on 5.
Yeah, and you don't know what to do with it.
I have a ton of troops.
Yep,
I'm not sure what to do.
nothing.
I do nothing.
You don't have to do anything.
I stack the cap.
I think so. In this situation, we know that Magenta has, let's say, most of their troops on southern Sweden. They probably have ancillary materials still in the west, but they're being broken because they're breaking. Everyone is hitting everyone in this scenario. This is actually good because the game has gone long, but it hasn't stalemated. So there are few troops on the board, and because of that, the ratio between how big the sets are and how many troops the players have is still close. So kills can be viable in this scenario, which is wonderful for you. But you absolutely do not take a magenta kill on 2. You take them when it triggers a set. So taking a card right now, sitting on your cap, and going for the magenta kill next turn is how I would play this.
Okay.
What do you do? You go into white. You can't help it. You can't help it. No, you close off your cap.
Well,
No! You go for it
okay.
this turn. You go for it this
I
turn. Oh, okay. Okay. But
I
you don't get the
giggle.
kill? Ooh. You give away the kill.
Well, it's only 2 cards.
Sure.
Um,
But you feed it.
well, I don't feel like
Not yet.
I have what was it? Was I losing track of how many troops there were again? Because I hit his 20 on cap, and I think he still holds the bottom capital or something like that.
No, white has the bottom capital.
Okay,
That's why
I've
white's
lost
on
track of
3.
that.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Um,
Remember when
I
white was
closed
on
off my
4?
capital, but I also felt like it was a good time to do that because I felt that somebody would open me again,
No, they did. Lucky you.
and they did. So, a
But
good
in this
read.
situation, black or white could have killed magenta on 3 for profit. I see magenta as a profitable kill now. They have no capital. You hit the biggest part. Black's not
Right.
doing it though. Okay. Do you get him this turn? Coming up. This is 55-40. No. Magenta lives. You
Yeah, I
set on
actually
3
missed
as
yeah.
well. Okay. We're setting on 3 and we buff both capitals. Don't close your line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did
Don't
miss the
close your line.
kill
Don't close
here.
your line. Do you? Oh, you close your line. Oh man, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a tough call. It was a tough call because if I closed my, if I get my other choice is attack black or take that one up there in, take the pink kill up in Scandinavia.
No, 5v2
So,
in Russia.
yeah,
Yeah, doesn't close
true.
the cap line. Okay.
I can still go to white though, you know?
Yeah, we're good. This is a good spot to be in. I'm trying to make the kill possibilities obvious when I see them. You know, or I at least would check. You
Mhm.
don't have to roll big
Mhm.
stacks.
Mhm.
You have to find them and then decide if you want to. That's another great moment to pause. Is when you've hunted a player and you understand their position. You're still not obligated to make the kill, right? If it's bad value, if you don't want to roll in, this is black hitting magenta. Black gets the 4-card magenta kill here.
My mistake was
Yes,
believing
they
magenta would still have a
do.
lower capital.
Black gets it for almost for free. Okay, so now black is strong in the 3-player. We are at 58-30. And we have a better relationship with black than we do with white. Yes?
Agreed.
Okay, so I'm wondering how the next 44 minutes of this game play out.
It's So what do you think of the ranks are so far?
Magenta's a novice.
Okay.
Purple bought it immediately. Yellow started as a bot. I think white is better than black, but not by much. I think white's expert max, and I think black's intermediate max is what I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Expert and intermediate. Okay.
yeah. That's.
White, expert, black, intermediate.
I'll
Okay.
be surprised. Like you're foreshadowing that this is not the way it is, but I will be surprised. Like they aren't playing very well.
That's that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
you can
they.
change your answer by the you don't I'm not gonna we're time stamping it, but that you don't have to you
Yeah,
can tell
yeah.
me at the end.
Fair enough. Fair
So,
enough.
the next big thing happens at 103.
Okay, we go to 103. And it is white's turn. You have 2 capitals. And you have a ton of cards on Kharkiv. So I'm guessing you never take Kharkiv cap cards again, really, unless you kind of have to. We've now locked into a 3-player game.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Okay. So we stale out on 3. And something happens. Oh, big stack gets hit. Black hits a big white stack. Okay.
Oh, I have I think that at this stage of the game, I have decided to take Noob Corner as a test
Yeah.
to see who
If anyone's
cares.
going to let you hold.
Right.
Yeah.
At some point in this game, I said bonuses don't matter except a lot of them. Like one bonus doesn't matter, a +8 doesn't matter, but if you take a +7, a +8, a +3, a +2, and a +3, and a +6, now they matter. So I'm
Let's talk about
because
that, though.
well, there's 2 reasons for that. One, like if you have bonuses that in the aggregate total, first of all, it's more than just the bonuses. You get the territories divided by 3, so it's more.
Mhm.
But you also restrict your opponent's options
Mhm.
because they don't want to go into you, and so they have to go into the other guy. And then on top of that, they can still be worth like a third of a card, and a third of a card for 3 turns is a card.
Yep.
And that's like how much would you pay to card block somebody?
Well,
Right? Just make
that's
them skip 1 card.
okay. So
So if you could just do that for 3 turns.
this is good. This is actually a really good thing to talk about. So I think in the 3-player scenario, like what you're describing matters in 1v1s. What you're describing matters early in the free-for-all part of the game.
Mhm.
I don't think of the 3-player scenario as true free-for-all. 3-player scenario is rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
So the logic of the 3-player scenario is if I hit him and he hits me, then they win over there. Right? And
Right.
that's infinitely recursive and it's always true. And
Mhm.
I struggled with the 3-player scenario forever because of this. Until I had a conversation with Digi, and he's like, yeah, the 3-player scenario is fundamentally illogical. Oh, stop trying to solve an impossible logic problem with logic. It's about relationships. The 3-player scenario is all about who is going to work with me against the other guy and why. It has nothing to do with
I have
logic.
I
Because
have
the
an
logic
answer
is
for that
go
too.
ahead, please.
So you're saying it's a okay, so like Australia is good in a vacuum, but it being good
Yeah.
means people want it, which makes it bad. Okay. Taking bonuses is good in a 3-player scenario in a vacuum, but they don't matter, so therefore they're bad. So who would take something bad?
I'm not
A
going to
bad
say they
player.
don't
Well,
matter.
so well, there's more. Hang on.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, please.
who takes something that's bad? A bad player.
Okay.
Who do you want to fight in the end game? Do
You're
you want to take
bluffing.
out the good
Yeah.
player or the bad
You're
player and
bluffing that
go
you're
ahead
bad.
and up?
Yeah.
So
No,
if
not.
I bluff that I'm bad, then they think that so I'm doing something that is bad that is actually good because they think it's bad, which makes it good.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's
yeah. You're
talk
next
about
leveling it.
recursion
Yeah, you're
here.
next leveling it. No, no. Hey, these are great thoughts to have. I'm at 1 hour and 6 minutes 31. I also just want to point out one tiny thing. Kharkiv is way more important than Sweden. So you are making it look like, having 2 mostly balanced caps here, I don't love.
Okay.
If your goal is to appear to be of lower skill than you are, that is something that I'm noticing, right? I
I
wouldn't.
think people call it turtling. I don't like that. I prefer to think of it as hedgehogging. I've got lines out.
Yes.
Okay. It's not about hiding and you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me. It'll just sting you real hard. So I'm keeping both caps at about 200 because I know that the sets are about 130. So by doing that, I guarantee no slam.
So we go
And
to,
I start to pivot that later in the game when it starts to get even bigger. Ah,
yes,
an
we go
important
to, yeah, go ahead.
psychological strategic moment happens at 108
Okay, go to 108,
or 107, really.
go to 107. Yeah, white gives you a bunch of cap cards. They
Yes,
remove
white does,
black.
but they do it because they're eliminating
Yeah,
black.
they're trying
And
to try and
why?
block black.
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Well, I go for a walk with my 19 to prove the point here, which is that white is card blocking black. White has somehow figured out a way to trap black in the basement. So what I do is I decide to come through Germany. I'm actually breaking white's Germany, pretending like I'm not. So I send this thing at 125
Okay.
to express confusion, as if I didn't know that I would be breaking him, but I did. And so I then say, oh, because white is card blocking black, I'm going to sit in Dinaric Alps and show white that one,
And
I
you're gonna
know what
help.
you're doing
Yeah, you're gonna help.
and I'm your buddy, but I'm doing so poorly
Yes.
on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yes. Excellent.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
I
Excellent.
thought this was like something I was just making up out of thin air,
No,
but
I
I'm
think I
intentionally
I think
being bad
bluffing
at it.
I think bluffing like you suck is absolutely a viable strategy. Um,
Okay.
but you have to be consistent with it.
So black gets 24 and hits me,
Yep.
and I act like, oh no, white, did you see that? I have bled for you.
That's
My
good.
my blood has been spilled on the battlefield in service of you,
That's
my lord, right?
hit
In fact, what I'm
him
doing
back.
is I'm giving black cards to kill white with.
Sure. Hopefully.
So I don't know if that's obvious to the white player. Am I good enough to do that? Is it totally transparent?
Why do you set on 4?
Why do I set on 4?
Oh, you're gonna try reset the block. Now we're
I have
playing well.
tons of cap cards, so I mean, setting on 4, setting on 5 is not that different, I don't think.
Yeah, but there's no reason
But
to.
yes, and I'd also take Germany
Yeah.
as an expression to white that I am once again very bad.
All right. So black goes in. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, good. You're bluffing well.
I'm giving white like an idea that I am not
Yeah. That you're
that I'm
gonna
busy doing my
fold
own
in the
thing, and so
1v1.
that's why I'm not helping you. I'm not helping
Yeah.
you because like I'm busy, and also you have Germany, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna do something about it. And black's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or white's like, yeah, 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 okay, like whatever. White already demonstrated to me that he doesn't care if I have bonuses, so I'm gonna.
This is
Right?
good. This is very good. This end game so far is going very well for you. Take Poland? No, you pricked an error because you want to look. All right. And we understand that now white has committed 100% to the black card block. You're not having to pay anything.
Now 119 is there's a big thing that happens at
119?
no. It's I just skipped right past it. I will find the
114.
timestamp for you, sir. It's on white's turn. It's at 113:30. That's actually after my turn. It's going to be on white's turn.
Yeah.
114, I guess.
Okay. So your turn, and I like your. I like how you have asymmetry now between your caps. 370 is way more important.
Yeah. So white is just popping off. And at 114 something.
Does he kill black?
I
think-
thought so.
Yeah. Black gets 11. Okay.
At 114, a white fortifies away, which means he took the cap.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Morocco. So black is coming out, and then To save some time here, black hits white, white hits black, black hits white, white hits black.
Great.
And so you can see
You're
at
being fed this game.
119.30 how this starts to play out. I've taken the entire board. I've set
So
up a card block
also,
in anticipation of
also
this.
white hasn't white didn't effectively block black.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because black set and slammed in.
And because you didn't help, because he was trying to
Because I didn't help.
yeah, he was trying to do it on his own.
Right.
But you're lucky, right? You're lucky that these guys are just feeding you the win.
I don't think they have a choice at this moment
No,
because I've
it's too
caught up
late.
so
Yeah,
much.
I agree. It's
And
far too
everybody
late.
knows my capital. So that's why I kind of took the mask off. I was like, ha ha!
Yep. Yep.
I know what I'm doing. Because I was kind of like,
Sure.
it's too late.
Yep.
Like, you turn the corner. The worm has turned.
Now you're card blocking white.
At 122.
Okay, 122, we start making big moves. Let's see it. I like big moves. All right, we get a set. We have 472 cap that's open. That's 170. That's the 472 move. How well, before you act here, how well do you understand their position?
Well, I can't really tell the troop counts. I mean, I know where they are, and I know where the caps
Close
are.
your cap line.
And yes, big decision. That's why I called it making big moves. I still have 6 white cards plus the entire Orient to take.
Sure.
And so I am trying to accelerate the fact that they have to go into each other here. And so I leave
Ooh.
45 sitting in Bulgaria to say, it's an expensive card. Do you want it? And I also think what I'm trying to do there by bringing the 200 stack in was say, I'm going to help with the card block. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you already have the card block going? I was coming to help you. I didn't know that you were already doing it. Let me replace you. And really, I'm breaking, I'm hitting all their stuff and things. And so at 123, we see black hit the big stack.
Yeah.
And my 45 that I left behind is enough deterrent for them. I thought I was going to bait them into hitting the 163 cap out of anger, but they didn't. So, but that's okay because like 100 troops just got deleted. So from this point on, we are just walking in.
White gets the black kill?
And white does get the black kill.
Yeah, you don't care.
I don't care. He's got a 160 cap. I've got a 650 cap. And it's going to cost him troops anyway. So at 126, everybody is dead.
This is where we lose black. And from this point, it's just a 1v1.
Yes. And I mean, I felt like it was straightforward. I don't know if there's anything I missed here. Got 200. I'm just stacking up. I'm just doing a huge card block.
Yeah, you went into this 1v1 at significant advantage. You could have ended. I think you could have just powered through those caps, right? Fort the majority of the 648 to the 77, roll Istanbul, and lock him down in Africa.
Yeah.
But you're doing it slowly and technically. Because you're at this point, you've invested more than an hour of your life into not trying to throw.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I have.
respect
And
that.
I keep trying to figure out a way that they don't to keep them off of cards, and it seems to be working, and I'm getting more than they are.
Well, you're definitely better than white.
And at 130, he's got 151 stacks sitting there. So at 131, I'm like, what do I do about that? But this feels like minutia at this point. Like, let's just clean up.
Yeah, looks like.
So, I do use a joker at some point to kind of set the card block, and then by 132, I feel it's game over.
How do you feel about this part of the game? You seem to have it pretty well handled.
You mean the technicals?
I mean
like
the
zeroing stacks and stuff, or you mean the three
No, the
player
1v1. How do you feel about the 1v1 as far as, is there a part of that you want to discuss or improve upon?
Um, hmm, great question. I
Yeah.
think I maybe understand the mechanics of it. I'm not quite sure about how and when is the right time to just go for it. I tend to be a very careful player and like
Yeah.
saying, I've got the card block. Why am I rushing? Let me try to get all the troops and stuff like that. And maybe that could be
I
improved. But a W is a W.
I think
So I'm not
you
really sure
okay. So I
about
think
that.
this is as this is my the biggest thing I've noticed from watching your play so far is you are an overly cautious player. And
Okay.
that doesn't, you know, punish you all that bad on average. Um,
Right.
but, you know, I think as you become more confident, your ability to see what's going on, read the board, know who has what, understand the ratios, you'll be able to take bigger risks. And I don't think you lose a lot of games because you're not um, aggressive enough.
Okay.
I'm not even going to say you're not aggressive enough. I don't think that's the right way to put it. Um, it's just you're getting advice right now from a guy who has become way more aggressive in say the last year, and I would say that my evolution in that way um, has everything to do with more skill. Right? I see opportunities now that I didn't see before, so I take them more often. And
Okay.
sometimes I get unlucky, but I
Mm.
don't care because my priority is making an entertaining show, right? I can't publish an
Yeah.
hour and 42-minute video. So this part of the game I understand how to do and I respect it, but I don't find it terribly fun um and I don't think the viewer does either.
So yeah, I think that really the fact that I tried to kill Pink and couldn't,
Yeah.
I failed that kill, and then later I could have killed Pink and didn't,
Yeah.
really expresses a lot of the ways in which I screw up these games.
Yes.
I am glad that Black decided to use Pink's cards to hit White. I also kind of knew that was going to happen because they're enemies, and like I like to think I had a hand in making that happen. But between missing kills like that and not and keeping the cap straight, guys, watch the video and you'll hear me talk about who has what caps, and I'm just totally wrong
Yeah.
about that. And a lot of that comes down to vision, and maybe my caution has to do with kind of once bitten, twice shy on that kind of thing where it's like I've screwed up the pink. When I went aggressive, I opened up Pink's cap, right? And then when I didn't go aggressive, I missed the kills on yellow and pink. And then, but at the end, when I can finally just go back to my roots of like tactician,
Hmm.
of how do I set the block? How do I zero stacks?
You
How do I
also
like walk it in?
you also accidentally card skip a couple times, eh?
I did.
In this end game.
When?
So you're so concerned about sorry, you just 1 minute. Let's go to 1 minute 38. Let's talk about
Yeah, yeah,
two
yeah.
different
I did. I
technicals.
did. I think I did card skip. However, I also know the card skipping. And so this is one of my techniques is actually, and I used this in another game that I don't think I recorded. Um, I don't need to take a card if I'm getting more troops per turn.
You're
So
just
in
that patient, eh?
theory,
Okay. So I'm gonna
well,
stop. I'm gonna stop with my bias of like, let's just end this game as quickly as possible. And if you want to no, straight up, man, if you want to play technically correct and you want to play it safe and you want it to take a bit longer, nothing wrong with that.
well, you're going to hear me say, "quote I think I missed a card
You
there."
did. Yeah, at
So,
139. At 139, you zero a stack in Rome
yeah, and then
instead of
don't
just
take it.
trying to get your card out of it. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, 466 on cap you don't need, right? Fourth that down to the 176 in Romania, get the Istanbul cap. But
true,
a win is a
true.
win, and I think your ideas there in the three player are brilliant, right? Bluff that you suck until you don't, and let those guys kill each other for you.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good to
Brilliant,
hear.
love it.
Um, yeah, this is a great game. This is fun. This was exhilarating. And then if you want to skip to the
The
oh wait, sorry,
ranks,
do
yeah,
not
yeah,
skip. You tell me the ranks
I will.
one
Well, I
final
did,
time.
I did.
Okay, you sticking with your guess.
I think White's an expert, and I think Black's an intermediate.
Okay, I felt roughly the same. I felt
Yeah,
like they were intermediate expert, and
and
then
they're better
we'll
than
take a
that.
look. And you said pink is a
Oh,
novice?
noobs. Okay, good job. No, but like, here's the thing, man.
Like, I'm I
We,
just I can't believe I got no rank credit for that, but
well,
I
I
mean,
think I think you got to keep in mind how many times did you say that the reset has busted you down? So maybe it's guys who know how to play who just haven't played in a while, or maybe it's
okay,
guys who do know how to play on a new account, right? So I wouldn't hold too much
true.
too much
Okay,
faith in beginner, right? Beginner is like
good.
the
I just
catch-all.
wanted to be validated in thinking that these players played a lot better than beginner.
I thought the same way
At
as you.
least black and white did.
Yep,
I
I
mean,
thought the same
the
way as you.
card setting knowing how to card block, stepping off cap,
Yep.
feels like they've been in the game, so
You
but,
ran up against the Singleton Jackson 9.
I hope everybody respects the power of Singleton Jackson 9 in the
Yeah.
future. No, he played good, and, like, seriously, respect to these opponents. I know that I'm not I share Pete's philosophy here. We're talking about how they play the game, not them as people,
I'm
so
just
when
offering that
call them
from time to
idiots and stuff,
time.
it's
Yeah, from time to
not
time
their fault.
I get colorful with the language, and it's nice to just remind people listening that I mean no ill will to any person, and I am making a television show here, so sometimes I am a bit dramatic, but um, that was, I hope, useful for you.
It was incredibly useful.
Great.
Yes,
And I
it was
don't
fun.
know how this is going to be received. I haven't published any of it yet, but I'm very interested to get feedback from you all, the viewers. What do you like about this? Um, I want it to, not only do I want to improve at chess, I'm happy to, help everyone improve at Risk, but I I am also interested in iterating this as a show that you guys like. So let me know what works and what doesn't, please, if you
I'll
would.
appreciate your comments and participation on Phoenix Plays,
That's right.
my channel.
Are you
I've
going to
got
make these
very few videos, but
games?
hopefully there'll be more soon.
Are you going to make these games public?
I will.
Okay, so when I link them in the show notes, if you want to see the games, you want to hear Phoenix's commentary, you can go check those out. Also, head on down to his channel, subscribe, show a little support. And I guess I'll see you next week.
I will see you next week.
Do you have homework for me?
Yes, let's talk about that. I want you to go on Lee Chess.
Yep.
Here's what you're going to do to improve your vision, okay? You're not seeing things still because you're not looking. So we're going to train you to look. Here's what I
Yep.
want you to do. At the top, you see puzzles, okay?
Okay.
I want you to click puzzles from the drop down. And I want you to click puzzle themes.
Let me find it.
We're going to do, honestly, any of the motifs would be good. But
Puzzles.
I definitely think you should try to be doing things that are like checkmates, or there's a motif called attacking F2 or F7. Those are really good ones.
A motif? Okay, advanced pawn
If you
attacking
scroll down,
F2. Okay, I see. Yep.
yeah.
Do a
Yeah,
couple of
you played
these.
F2 in your game and you were punished for it. So I'd like
Mm.
you to see and practice that section. It is very good, guys. If you're learning chess, please, please, please practice these tactics by theme. The brain does not encode random things.
Mm.
If I were teaching you a language like Spanish, okay, I would teach you all the words for clothing and then later all the words for foods. I would not be like, this is the word for apple, this is the word for shirt, this is the word for car, this is the word for sun. Your brain won't remember them randomly. So do themes, they sink in better, and you will be able to at least understand that part of your game. It'll sink into long-term memory that way, and that's what you need when you're playing a game. All right?
Lovely.
Don't healthy mix of everything. Hate that.
All right, Phoenix. Have yourself a great
Um,
week, man.
hey, you too.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
one. See ya.
Be
Bye.
well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all for watching. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm interested in iterating this content, as I said. And be well, everybody. For all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck.